Alrighty, welcome to episode 148 of Tokwa's Ask Us Anything. As usual, it's been a pretty busy news week. Tesla has sweetened its Australian referral program with an initiative starting from the 7th of July, whereby the purchaser of a Model 3 or Y using a referral link will get a $750 discount on the price of that car, and the owner whose referral code was used will receive 10,000 referral credits, which has an equivalent monetary value. The WIEV network is set to introduce idle fees commencing next week on the 18th of July. Once introduced, an idle fee of $1 per minute will apply to any EV still connected to a WIEV network fast DC charger after a 10-minute grace period. And that was this week's news. A short but sweet news. Welcome everyone to another episode of Tokwa's Ask Us Anything. As is customary, I'd like to invite anyone who is new and has not yet introduced themselves to please unmute and say hello.
Hi.
Hi, Judy. Jody, sorry. Welcome.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm trying to start my video, but it's not working.
Gotcha now.
I've got a Model Y that I've had for 2.5 weeks. Absolutely loving it. Yeah, I've been lurking for a little while and picking up some interesting tips. So thank you everyone for all of your tips. It's great to be able to ask these questions as well. And I did have a question to ask when it's possible, please.
Excellent. I'll just I invite anyone else who is new to say hello. And yeah, actually, if anyone else is new, please do say hello very shortly, like now. Or not. If you do want to say hello later, that's perfectly fine. So yes, Jody, we might as well go straight to you for the first question.
Just with charging, so I've got the rear-wheel drive. So I know it. Tesla says you need to be charging up to 100% at least once a week. So I only do probably about 15 kilometers return each day for work. So I don't want it sitting around with a 100% charge for the, for a while. So am I better off just sort of charging, scheduling the charging to be complete by the time I go to work for one morning? I'm just wondering what everyone else sort of does.
So what you can do, Jody, is it is perfectly safe and appropriate to charge your car to 100%, and you can leave it there indefinitely, basically. And that's
Okay.
official word from Tesla. So all you need to do is, everyone's got different sort of things. When I had an LFP car, which is the standard range Model Y and the current standard range Model 3, and you'll notice that you can charge to 100% because where your charging slider is, there are no little indicators that say daily or trip. If you do see daily or trip, then please just set the slider to 90% and just charge at that rate. This is for anyone else who has NCA batteries, the long range cars. For LFP, there's none of these little warning sort of notes. You can absolutely charge your car to 100% all day, every day, but you don't have to. So
Yeah.
you're only doing short trips every day. So there's nothing wrong with, using a car for a week and then plugging in on the weekend or whatever. And then allow it to go fully to 100%, and then you can unplug it and use it for another week. Or, even if it's 2 weeks, that's perfectly fine.
Okay.
All that Tesla is sort of saying is the car likes to be fully charged periodically, or let's call it, often or periodically. And that's mainly to do with the fact that you can charge those batteries at that high rate, which is different to the other chemistry, and also to do with making sure the car knows the full capacity of the battery by exercising it through its range of, or going all the way to 100%.
Okay.
But also, Jody, Jody, it's not a bad idea to. I used to only plug my cars in when they needed charging, or my car. and then I remember reading something about the car liking to be plugged in, whether it's charging or not.
Okay.
Yeah, after the first few months of ownership, I've just always been plugging my cars in. Now, if for whatever reason you don't want to charge to 100%, it's perfectly fine to still plug it in, and then you can just move that cursor. But you'll notice if you do move it on the screen, it will tell you that it wants to be at 100%.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
And also, just from a habit point of view, if you only sort of plug in every now and then, sod's law, when you do need the range, you'll forget to plug it in. Whereas if you just get used to a habit of plugging in every day, whether it needs to be plugged in or not, and if you don't want that charge, like I said, you can just adjust that cursor. I just found plugging in all the time is the best way to go for me. But yeah.
And it only takes 5 seconds to plug in and 5 seconds to unplug, so it's really convenient.
If that. And if you've got your wall connector, you've got that button on there that opens the flap. And if you need to close that flap, I don't think it likes to be closed manually. And most of the time you don't have to worry about actually closing it. It will just work out what to do itself, basically.
Okay.
In fact, Tesla recommends you do not manually close it. It's not good for the mechanism. It basically is likely to damage it in time. So, and don't worry about it. You can even hop in the car with the flap still open. It will automatically close itself quite promptly. So that's perfectly fine. Now, since we're at the start of the show, and this is mainly for the people on YouTube, and in fact, everyone in this room, and thank you for all those people on YouTube that are watching us patiently. I know that you have a dirty little secret, which is that you usually just watch the start of the program, and by the first hour, you've either fallen off to sleep or you're onto some cat video or something else. What I'd like to do is next week, we're going to have a Wednesday evening casual meetup at 6:30 at a venue to be announced. And part of that announcement is please write in the comment section where you want that venue to be. If you've got any ideas, it's an evening one, so it's probably preferable for it to be central-ish to Perth, whether it's central north, central east, west, or central south. So not too far away from most people in the evening to have to travel, as opposed to, say, when we have a Sunday lunch casual meetup where distances are less of an issue. So please do write or vote for your location in the comments on YouTube. For people here joining us on Zoom, all you need to do is just go to youtube.com/Tokwa and you'll see the video. It'll be posted up tonight. And so please do put in your suggestions for a venue for the casual meetup next Wednesday. And actually, while you're there, we're also going to have a casual meetup next month on a Sunday lunchtime. So actually, you might as well put a suggestion for that as well. But just delineate it as Wednesday evening and Sunday lunchtime. So awesome. Thank you very much for doing that, in advance. Alrighty, have we got any other questions or comments? I'm just scanning the room for a moment because we have got Sandra Giri going to be joining us, but she's not in yet, so that's okay. So any other questions or comments?
I've got a quickie. My wife's now driving the Model 3 and she said, how do I make sure the car's locked when I pull up at traffic lights and stuff so people can't get in and steal me and my car?
Okay. Should automatically be locked, and there'll be a little lock icon.
There's a little icon here, Richard.
Does it lock automatically, or can you set it so it locks automatically?
Once you start driving.
It does. Under locks.
It's just a fixed setting where after you go over, I think it's only a few kilometres an hour, maybe 5k an hour or something like that. Or if you roll for a short distance, it automatically locks.
And it stays locked?
And it stays locked.
Okay, thanks. I've just never noticed. I've never looked.
It stays locked until and unless you put the car in park, and then it will unlock. So if for whatever reason she's done that and she wants it to lock, just look at this part of the screen and just, sorry, let me just get out of there, and just tap that icon and it will change from unlocked to locked if it was unlocked.
Thank
And
you.
by the way, she can always, the doors are always unlocked from the inside, even when that icon says locked. It's just from the outside that they're locked.
Cool.
So she'll always be able to get out of the car without having to press that, just by opening the door.
Thank you.
Righty, anyone else that's got any questions or comments this week?
Yeah, I've got one.
Oh, sorry. I didn't see those two hands up. Sorry, who was that just said you got one? Is that you, John?
James. Yep. James.
Oh, James. Oh, James. Go, James. And then straight after James will be John.
Yep.
Apologies, I just didn't see the hands.
Okay.
Does anyone
Go,
know if
James.
the new Model Ys are getting the parcel shelf? Any ideas if that's a retrofit? Can you get that into existing ones? Can you buy the bits on the side that like the rails that hold it?
James, I've got a retrofitted parcel shelf.
Yep.
I haven't had a fantastic experience with it because, and yes, it does have, so you change out, you don't actually change it out, you keep the plastic trim where it is, but on top of it with some double-sided tape, you stick on new bits with a, with like a U-shaped part that comes out, and then, yeah, it just sort of sticks on there. The reason why I haven't had a great experience with it is because when you pull it back, even though those prongs that stick out have got felt over them, they still manage to scratch the plastic trim. And you can see lines where it's been going in and out. So, but yeah, you might be able to get a slightly better quality one than I did. But yeah, you can definitely get them as a retrofit, but I don't, we thought they might come when the first Model Ys came to Australia with the parcel shelf, but they didn't. And we thought the Performance might have it, but it didn't either.
So, James, the first part of your question, were you implying that the cars coming now do have a parcel shelf as stock standard?
In the Driven, they had parcel shelves and boombox, a part of the new batch that are coming out.
Yeah, from late May, wasn't it? End of May.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Just a quick thing. Pete, please don't share your screen because you're on an iPad. It wrecks the thing. So please don't share.
I wasn't sharing anything.
No, that's cool. So James, I guess the answer is if Tesla are bringing out cars with parcel shelves, then the only there's three parts you need. You need the left-hand upper plastic assembly, which is just pressed in with those clips, and you need a right-hand one, and you need the parcel shelf itself. So I dare say that would be something that you could order from Tesla. The only thing I fear is it might not be particularly cheap, but definitely worth.
You'd have to
Ken?
replace the C pillars because the molding is part of the C pillar inner lining on the ones that have parcel shelf.
Might be a service installable.
It's an upper. Oh no, you wouldn't even. Well, you could literally do it yourself. You just reef them off. They're not that large. They're only about half height. So they're the actual bottom of them, where that lip is that the parcel shelf sits on, is almost at the bottom of that molding. Because you if you look in your car, there are actually there's two pieces. There's the side bits and the upper parts, as Ken was alluding to. So it shouldn't cost a lot. And Tesla should have them available as parts eventually.
So are these fixed partial shells? Or are they retractable like the third-party ones?
No,
They're magnetic.
they slide in. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're like an iPad cover. They're like three parts that sort of fold over the top of each other.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, yeah, I think I saw that. Okay, yeah, right, that's good.
Yeah, I was just going to say there's a video on YouTube with someone in the US retrofitting the parcel shelf. There's actually a Tesla service retrofitting it, so you can see they do replace those two side panels, and they've got to get it, past the seat belt. But that I have seen that on YouTube, so I'm pretty sure, we will have the same option here.
And I say it's going to be pretty popular too, just quietly.
And And in case I've got it wrong, in UK on the Tesla website there is a parcel shelf retrofit, and it's £360.
Whoa.
Ouch.
$1,000. Is it?
Oh,
including a service appointment as part of that. So that's, yeah, I'll try and post the link. Hang on. Here we go.
Maybe we'll be approaching a friendly panel beater to see a Tesla approved repairer to see if they can buy them and are willing to sell them to us.
I just posted the link on the
includes
UK shop.
sending your car to Britain to get it fitted at that service centre, does it?
Yeah, that's it. But what I'm guessing, I'm implying is that Australia may have a similar option at some point.
They won't be in pounds though.
It won't be in pounds. I don't know if you can share that page, Harold.
Sorry, yes. There it is right there. And I'm just going to be cheeky and go, but I know it's not going to work.
It's not going to work. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, come on. Come on, Tesla. Come on.
But yes, for Europe, it's because I think later European Model Ys had the parcel shelf fitted, much like here. So yeah, it's a bit dark on your screen, but yeah, you can see they're basically obviously replacing those C-pillar interior mounts with the ones with the rails on, and then they still get the parcel shelf. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah, I hired a car in Vienna and it had the parcel shelf and it was awesome. It was really, really useful.
Yeah, I just found that video. I've just put in the link. I guess I'll wait for AliExpress to see if they come up with a knockoff version.
Today, we're retrofitting.
Sorry. How many? Oh, 11 minutes. Sorry.
We're done. I just put it there for your own value.
Actually,
right, thanks for that.
That's there's like a little screenshot. That's it. It's not that big. So, and that's a little lit bit there, basically. And
that's quite useful because that's the part on my car that's all scratched from that third-party one. So
yeah, you can replace the whole panel, Pete.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd call it, you've got to actually, as you can see, you've got to unclip the bottom one because that sort of mates through the bottom of the top one. I
think it tucks in underneath. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But look, anyone that's at all half handy, and the trick with these things is don't be bashful. You have to literally reef them hard because that's how you stop them from breaking. You sort of have to shock it to just pull the whole thing off. And it's a skill you get used to. But yeah, that's pretty awesome. All right, John, you've been really patiently with your hand up. Ask away.
That's okay. After about a week, I put a Model Y roof rack, 2 roof racks on, which were not OEM, not Tesla delivered, but third party, but they're identical, and put them in as per the various YouTube videos that they go into an exact position under the glass roof for the mounts, etc. And the aerofoil shape is all the right way, but they whistle. The car was deadly quiet, but when I fitted the roof racks, it just created a whistle. And looking up on the internet, various European cars, various ones with standard roof racks do whistle, and there's all sorts of hacks for reducing the whistle. And I've managed to thread just some covered cable to disturb the airflow over the front one, and it certainly quietened it down. But I was just wondering if anyone else had the same issue with the Model Y or Model 3.
I had the same problem with the roof racks on my Model S. It seemed to be related to they've got like a T slot in the top so you can slide accessories in. I'm assuming that was where the noise was coming from. But yeah, I never actually managed to solve it, but I'd love to hear if someone did.
No, the modern Model Y ones are all covered up the top. They've got a rubber strip
built in.
Yeah. And I put electrical tape on the edges of them where there's some gap in the. So I've done all that, but reading the other manufacturers have the same sort of issue, but it has quietened it down, but not completely gone. But apparently it's disturbing the airflow a bit, and I just wondered if anyone else had the same issue.
You need to get rid of all the sharp edges.
There's no, when the roof racks are there on, there's no sharp edges. If you look at the Model Y roof rack, it's beautifully molded. There's no sharp edges anywhere. It's that's why it's very mystifying. And on YouTube, they tend to say that there's airflow over the two profiles that do it, and you just got to disturb the airflow to do it. And that actually has reduced it, so it does work. Or they can put little foils on, but that looks crap. You know, you put a foil on the front one and all too much. But I just wondered if I'd
could you try installing a couple of those $8 shurus, because that's what they do. You know, the air obviously passes through them. Maybe
okay. What are
put them in underneath.
Yeah, they do. My looping of my coil has closed the gap a bit to disturb the airflow over the front, and it has worked, but still a whistle at certain, you know, as you increase your speed. I just wondered if it was because it was a non-OEM version, but they're identical, and I fitted it as per all the components are identical for the third-party ones.
Hey, John, just a quick thing. I've just put a picture into the chat. Are you talking about putting a wire, a rope in a loop around the
around it? I tried one version, but I actually put a bike, like it was a bike lock, like that. But I did like that, and that didn't work at all. I put that on both. How you've got it, and that did nothing. And then I put a loopier one where it actually drooped below and above, and that's disturbed the air and quietened it down. And that has worked, but still not perfect, you know?
Yep.
So just a thought, if anyone was going to do it.
The whole thing has to be very smooth, because the slightest little indentation, that the air will go in and out and cause all sorts of funny noises. Even the bracketing and where the screws and bolts are.
No, everything's cut on. If you're familiar with the Model Y unit, it is completely no profile at all, and it is completely smooth. When you fit it, after you fit it, it's a very nice looking unit, and there's no big clamps or anything on it. It's a beautiful looking unit, but it whistled straight away.
Mm.
Yeah, that's frustrating.
Yeah, but I turned the radio up, as you said, on another night, Harold. You know, some good music fixes it.
Yeah, a bit of duff duff, that'll do, you know. Or just drive faster, John, until the road noise overwhelms the
about
whistle.
160, I think. About 160 might cut out.
Or get some cancelling headphones.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I mean, we'll leave that arduous task to work it out, John, and you can report back to us next week with your successful cure.
I'm continually changing. I put some bungees on it, but I'm away from home at the moment, so I can't test it at the moment. But yeah, ongoing.
There's no way that I just saw an image here that it has anything to do with. See how there's a little bit of gappy bits there, like anything that could be done to maybe, I don't know, if you get a bit of blue tack or something and stick it in. I mean, you can't see the leading edge, but you know, just on these little bits, perhaps.
It's probably done.
I don't know.
That's not actually a picture of a Model Y roof rack, though. So.
Oh no, sorry. Yeah, I mean, but
it's very similar. It's very similar.
Of that vein, you know, where if you see any kind of slightest gap, just get a bit of blue tack just temporarily and just fill it. And
yeah, I've done that with electrical tape. Any gaps on the end caps you put on, there's a little line. So I've sealed that all up, and it looks, you can't even tell I put the tape on it, but that didn't do it. So that was the first choice. Anyway,
it's annoying.
First world problems, Harold.
Yeah. It only needs a teeny weeny little gap, you know, like people whistle when they talk through their teeth, the dentures and things, and it's a microscopic gap, and it makes a hell of a racket. So I don't know. Maybe you need to spray thick paint all over it. cover up everything.
Yeah, that'll do it.
End up creating another. I was just wondering if Tesla, when they designed it, it must be an issue. It can't, it was just, it's mounted perfectly as per all the tensions right. There's no gaps, no nothing. But
John, maybe what you could do is you could order the OEM version and put that on. And if that one doesn't whistle, then you can send the other one back. And, you've got a fairly good reason as to why you should get your money back. But if they both whistle, then you can send the Tesla one back. Or
someone else. Yeah, it's about a third the price of the non-OEM. But they're the same parts. It's all when you get the instructions are identical and all the parts are identical. It's not a bodgy one.
There you go. Okay, so I'd like to. Thanks, John. I'd like to introduce Sandra Giri from Synergy. She hardly needs an introduction, but she is Synergy's design and discovery practitioner, or perhaps that's discovery and design practitioner. I forget which way that goes, but welcome, Sandra. And Sandra has, spoiler alert, because we already had it in the news, but Sandra is going to be talking. Sorry, I'm just trying to get my computer to behave. About the WAEV network idle fee.
Yeah, thanks, Harold.
Sandra, the floor is yours.
Thank you. And hi, everyone. So yeah, new item tonight. I just wanted to have a chat with you. Idle fee, I'm sure you know them much better than I do. And most of you last month or so were asked through Talk One, also AVA, what were your thoughts around idle fee, and if you were for idle fee or not for idle fee, what kind of pricing, what kind of grace period, and so on. So we have listened to you, and we are very aware that it's something that is very much required, not only for our network, but for all network in Australia. So with this in mind, when we awarded the contract with ChargeFox, we were very keen to add this feature to the WAV network. So with no further ado, I'm just gonna go quickly through the definition of what is an idle fee, even though this group is very aware of what it is, since you use Tesla superchargers that have introduced idle fee a long time ago. But more or less, it's a fee that you're gonna pay if you overstay while you are fully charged. Next, please, Harold. So why we introduce this idle fee? Well, you are very well aware that if you arrive to a site and there is a car that is there that doesn't need to charge and is still using the charging bay and prevent you from being able to charge yourself, then this is very frustrated, to be polite. And this is even more, I think it's even more important for the WAV network, because Tesla, when they install the chargers, they often have several in a row. While on the WAV network, most of the site will have only one DC fast charger. So if people stay on the bay just because they are going ballooning or doing whatever else, that's really not fair for the other EV drivers. So we really need to make sure that we are going to optimize the DC charger as well as we can. And one of the ways to do so is to provide the right education and the good etiquette from the get-go. So that's why we wanted to introduce idle fee on all the DC chargers on the WAV network. Next one, please. So once again, no need to reinvent the wheel. It works well with Tesla, so we thought we don't need to reinvent and make it complicated or whatever. And for those of you who have filled the survey, thank you again so much for your input, because this data that we were able to show, not only Synergy, but Horizon Power and ChargeFox, it was like there was nothing to say, really. I didn't have to talk for a long time, because 91% of the people that have answered the survey in WA and in all Australia wanted idle fee to be applied on fast chargers. So there's nothing more to say. 91%, they can't come back from that. They can't say, oh, no, we don't think the customer don't want this feature. So that's a great news. The idle fee will be $1 per minute because it's much simpler this way anyway. And obviously now that you have push notification on the ChargeFox app, you will receive a notification telling you that it's nearly finished. Then you will receive another notification telling you that it is finished. And every time they will let you know as well that when it's finished, after the grace period of 10 minutes, if you haven't moved your car, you will be charged $1 per minute. Is there any questions so far on the idle fee or the grace period time? Or
just one tip that we've learned from the Tesla superchargers in Karrinyup where there's no mobile network. Just a good tip is if you know the car's going to finish charging in, let's say 15 minutes, just set a timer on your phone for 10 minutes. And that way, if you don't get the notification because there's no mobile network, you'll still be back in time so that you don't incur any idle fees.
Actually,
yeah, that's a really good point, Pete.
And just to augment that point further, because even if your app is out of range or you've got no mobile coverage whatsoever, let me just bring up a photo that I just prepared earlier in the correct folder. Sorry, let me just bring this up. And it's not a very good photo because I didn't really take it well to put on Ask Us Anything, but on the actual Kempower screen, you'll see that there's actually a QR code. And if you scan that code with your phone, it'll then bring up another, sorry, I just got to go back. Ugh. It'll bring up another screen. 2 seconds. I should have practiced this.
What are you looking for it, Harold? I noticed that QR code comes up soon after you begin charging, but then after some time it disappears.
Yeah, you can just tap back on the screen and you tap onto your side and it will then come back. Sorry, I just lost the view. Sort by date.
While you're just looking for that, Harold, can I just ask a quick question on that? If you've set your charge limit to 80% and then 8 minutes has gone by and you go, oh, I'll go up to 90%, you're not going to be charged until 10 minutes have elapsed after it stopped the second time. Are you with me?
Oh, sorry, I wasn't concentrating. Say that one more time.
Well, basically, if you've set your charge limit to 80% because you're on a long drive and you get delayed and it's already 8 minutes past, and you go, oh, I'll go up to 90%, and then it goes to 90%, you wait 8 minutes, you go up to 100%. Are you going to just get extra long there, or are you going to be hit with idle fees?
No, well, the thing is if at any time the car's actually stopped charging, you cannot reinitiate because say you set it to 80%.
Right.
It will not reinitiate if you, unlike AC, it will not reinitiate if you flick the slider further upwards.
That's all right then.
Yeah. Now, one thing that both the app, so I just showed the screen before, was the QR code at the charger. And on the app, it will actually show this screen. Now, for example, this was Lansdowne. I actually plugged in at 8%. And what it shows as of my 45% is if you look at this, and you can get this on your phone, but it also shows exactly the same image on the Kempower charger. So this is an important fact that you might not have noticed. But see how it says 60%, 6 minutes. So these chargers are very clever. They actually profile the cars. So they actually profile their voltages and power levels, and they've worked out basically what most of these cars that plug into these chargers are. So it knows that in 6 minutes time, I'll get to 60%. So in your case, Nigel, when you said that you wanted your slider up to 80%, well, it's telling me, it will tell you now live that it's going to take 17 minutes to get to 80%. And as a matter of fact, it's going to take 32 minutes to get to 100%. And that's live on the charger as well, on the charger screen. So there really is no excuse for anyone that didn't know that, oh, my car was going to be fully charged or stop charging in 17 minutes, because it's on the actual touch screen on the charger, and it's also on the Chempower website derived from the QR code. So that's an important
I guess, yeah,
thing to note.
In terms of information as well, we thought of it because some people don't use push notification or don't use the app, but there will be as well some stickers on the plug itself. So on every cable of the DC charger, there is a sticker saying that there will be a 10 minutes grace period only, and from there you will get idle fee. Plus, I'm gonna try to come like in several meetings like AVA last night, tonight at Ask Us Anything, and probably in a couple of weeks again to talk to people that probably are on holidays today. So yeah, thanks, Harold. So that's exactly what it looks like. So yeah, I think it's really hard to not know that there is idle fee applying to the WAV network. And I guess if really they don't see it for whatever reason or don't want to see it, I'm sure after the first time they will be paying the fee, I'm sure they will remember for next time.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. I'll put the presentation back, Sandra, so you can proceed.
Thanks. Well, there's not a lot to tell you guys, because you are all well educated around idle fee, so it's not something very new for you. But for us, it was very, very important to implement this feature as part of the ChargeFox network. And that's why we started with the push notification, because with that push notification, you can't really implement idle fee. So that was the two features that we really negotiated hard. And when we signed the contract with ChargeFox, because we were feeling very strong about it. And thanks again to all of you, because that's thanks to your feedback that we knew how important it was to implement these features. So the fee will apply from the 18th of July. We thought we will wait that the school holidays have passed to avoid people to go one way without idle fee and come back with idle fee. I think it's a bit unfair. So might as well wait until we are all back from school holidays. So from next week, idle fee will apply. It will be only on the DC chargers, as I say, no point of putting it on the AC chargers. And it is, let's put it this way, we wanted it sooner than later. And that's why this is a version 1. So it's a very basic version. There is still things that we are thinking, like potentially, as you say, Nigel, you know, is it worth maybe to think of the 80% only, because we know that from 80% to 100%, it can take a very long time. So is it optimizing the network to do so? At the moment, it's 100%. At the moment, it's once your car is fully charged, the charge is completed. But that's something that we keep in mind. And we have a version 2 that we're going to start to workshop from August. But yeah, we wanted something now because we didn't want to wait until the whole network will be available and operational to provide the right education and the right etiquette to EV drivers. So that's why we are happy with this version 1. Very simple, $1 per minute, after 10 minutes grace period, bang. And yeah, we have informed already the LGAs. We are informing the EV communities throughout EU. I'm sure that TOCWA and AVA will be happy as well to relay some posts when it will be live on the 18th of July. I believe that ChargeFox is going to do some social posts as well, and I'm sure they're going to make a lot of noise saying that they have developed this beautiful feature.
Excuse me.
Yeah, so so it's great. Like, and from what I have heard, why they were a bit reluctant at start, like we are speaking more than a year ago now, but why they were quite reluctant at start to develop this feature. Now, not only when you put the survey result in front of them, like it's a no-brainer, but since we have put this into place and we are communicating, it seems like a lot of customers of ChargeFox are asking them to implement the idle fee on their network, and nationally we are talking about. So yeah, we are just very happy about the outcome, and it's baby steps, but we're getting there. So once again, it shows how great is this collaboration between the customer and the government that work together so that we provide a better product. So I can't be more grateful to all of you who have answered this survey and support us along the journey. Once again, it's not perfect, but it's a baby step, and it's a great victory tonight. I'm quite happy with that. I'm quite happy that it's gonna happen next week. We have already 6 fast chargers live, so it's gonna work. So that's really good. I'm really happy.
I dare say,
that.
Sandra, that there's that saying that success has many fathers, whereas failure is an orphan. And no
we
doubt,
won't talk about the mums then.
No, but no. Well, but no doubt that that ChargeFox will try to extract some. They'll pretend it was their idea all along. And
yeah, but that's all right. I don't care. At the end of the day,
exactly.
what? Like, it's the long run, and the outcome is a better product for all of us, and that's what matters. Like, whoever brings the cover, that's a politicking game. I don't care. Like,
exactly. Okay.
At the end, I just wanted it to be adopted, and that's what is happening. So I'm just super happy.
Sandra,
sorry,
go, Steve.
Just a question, and I'm fully in favour of the idle fee. What happens to the collected idle fee? Does that go to ChargeFox, or is it somehow fed back to the government?
Sandra gets fed back. It's fed back to. I wish. I wish that it will be fed back to Synergy and Horizon Power when they will implement it on their chargers. So it will come back to whoever owns the charger. However, at the moment within Synergy, because it's phase 1, we don't know yet what we're going to do with this money. The idea is not to make money out of it. So Synergy is having, we are having a kind of brainstorming and what it is that we can do with this money. Is it gonna help us with the running cost, or are we putting it into something else?
Oh, hang on. Let's not interrupt. Let's just let people finish, and then we'll comment afterwards. Sorry, keep going, Sandra.
Go, Sandra. Sorry.
Oh yeah, I was just saying, like, at the moment, it's not something that has been decided, to be honest with you, but the money is back to Synergy. But the idea is not to make money out of it. It's really to provide the right education and making sure that the network is used better. So that's why we are thinking maybe for version 2, like we are also thinking and starting some conversation internally. And I'm speaking only for Synergy, not for Horizon Power, but Synergy is thinking of how they are going to use this money and what for.
Good. No, as I said, I'm very much in favour of it. I was not trying to imply there was something wrong happening.
No, that's good. And like, there's few people that are not for it. Obviously, there's 9% of the people that have been surveyed that are not in favor of it, but 9%, it's a peanut, right? So like 91% is just like, I did this survey to back up my position, obviously, but I was not expecting such massive numbers. And not only on being in favor of idle fee, but also on the amount, the grace period, like we were spot on everything. And I pride myself to be spot on because I'm close to you guys, and so we know the market and we know the customer because we are working together to create this product. So that was great, to tell them, what, we know well our customer and what we propose is spot on, and this is exactly what the customer wants. So there's no brainer. So it was very satisfying, I might say.
Absolutely. Okay, here's the rest of the next slide.
So that's just a FAQ. And hopefully you are going to help me as well to feed the FAQs. That's a few questions that came on top of my mind, but I think when we know well a subject, it's harder as well to think of the questions that potentially people can ask themselves on idle fee. So like, will an idle fee be applied even if no other driver is waiting to charge, as is the case, for example, for Tesla? And the answer is yes, because we have only one fast charger, so we are not gonna bother to know if there is another one waiting or not waiting. You are overstaying, you are paying the fee. Simple. how do I know if when I have incurred an idle fee? So once again, you will receive notification when you are nearly finished to charge or fully charged, and you will receive also a lot of notification. I went through the dry run and so on, and you will receive like a lot of message telling you from now you are starting to pay idle fee, you are this amount, blah, 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 like you receive a lot of message. So there's no way that you don't know about it. And if you want to dispute the fee, then you contact ChargeFox on the email provided there. That was another question, Harold. Sorry, if you can come back on the FAQ, on the first page of the FAQ, sorry. I think there is one question, just I want to come back on it very quickly. So yeah, it starts next week. And the question is, an idle fee will be applied while the car is still charging? No, like we have to wait the fully charged. And if there is, for example, an interruption of the power and your interruption of reception, as you were saying, it will be exactly like for charging. It won't prevent you from charge, but when you come back to reception, then you will receive the idle fee if meanwhile your charge has been fully completed. Does that make sense? So it will be exactly like for the charge. So that's just a resume of what it is. Only on DC chargers, $1 per minute, 10-minute grace period, and start from next week. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandra.
Question?
Thank you. Sandra, is it like the Tesla superchargers? So if you set your state of charge limit to 90% and it reaches 90%, the cars stop charging, then your 10 minutes starts from there? Or do you have to get to 100% to get the idle?
I think at the moment you have to go to 100%. But so I will have to try it. I think I will try it with Harold.
I'll just step in, Sandra. So what it is, one thing we have to remember is these CCS chargers don't have the same interaction with the cars as the Tesla superchargers. So for example, the Kempower charger has no idea what your desired state of charge is, which is why it actually had, sorry, I was going to try and find it. It had I had the image of the
percentage and time.
Yeah, so this one here. Yeah. So it actually said that if it's going to take 6 minutes to get to 60%, 17 to 80, 32 to 100%. So the charger has no telemetry from the car knowing what your desired state of charge is, and it doesn't even know when your car is going to stop charging. It finds out when your car stops charging. Literally, when it's got to its level, whatever that is, then it stops. That's when the timer starts. So there's no way of getting a notification that says, you've got 10 minutes till you get to 80%, your charge level of 80%. The charger doesn't know what the car's set to. But you will know.
That's something I want really to think of and see if there is potential there for next version.
Well, what you could do is similar to this, Sandra, although I don't know how much of this information can be relayed via OCPP back to ChargeFox for them to be able to say, look, you're going to be at 100% in roughly 32 minutes. I just don't know if that's part of the OCPP standard for the Kempower chargers. So that might be a feature that's a little bit hard to do, but certainly I think I think under OCPP you can poll what the current state of charge of the car is, and there could be a notification perhaps in version 2 that says your car is now at 80%, charging will finish soon, or please check your car or something like that, or please make sure you're near the charger for when it stops.
I'm not sure what it will look like, but we will have to. I'm definitely keen to take the expert, because obviously that's not my expertise area, but I'm really keen to see for version 2 if this is something we can investigate. That would be very interesting to see if we can consider a full charge at 80%, you know, that would be ideal, because yeah, if not, it can take, we have seen it on some of the chargers at the moment where it's very short, and then you have an hour and 20 minutes charge, and I'm like, what's going on? And it's because people have charged until 100%. So yeah, it can take. Sorry, Alex, I interrupt you.
That's okay, Sandra. What I was going to say is, what about if the unit could tell if the car's not getting a charge and it's the car's still plugged in, and the charger recognizes that and say, hey, this car's not charging at the moment, they should be getting charged a fee for being there for more than 10 minutes.
So yeah, my understanding is if the car is still charging, but there has been an interruption because of issues and not because it's already completely charged, then you won't be charged by idle fee.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
And if you haven't started the transaction, if you just plugged your car in, but you haven't badged an ID card or started charging on the app, well, then there's no transaction commenced to start an idle fee on. So if you wanted to be mean, you could just plug in and just walk away.
Thanks, Harold.
I'm just, it's human, Sandra. There, you know.
Yeah. If you really want to mess up things, it's not that hard anyway.
Yeah,
like, you know.
And we've seen people at superchargers in Model X's and Model S's just partially plug. This is in Karen Up shops. Partially plug the plug in, so it's not actually charging and it's not mated, but they're just taking a prime spot and it looks like they're plugged in. And unfortunately, in that case, there's nothing you can do. Humans are humans.
Well, these people are just a little bit confused because they think they're EV parking spots, whereas they're not EV parking spots, they're EV charging spots. So very big difference. And hence why the idle fee is a great initiative, great idea.
Absolutely.
James, you have a question?
Oh, sorry, James.
For once I can see it, so.
Sorry, I was away. It's a great idea. It's a good start. We need to know more, but just signage would help. I mean, at Karen Up, they've got a whole wall there. Why not put on the wall that don't park here? You know, so I think, Sandra, it's a great start. This is more for the people that go and plug in and then disappear for 6 hours while they go sightseeing. It's a great start, but just the signage to say, don't park here, move on if you're not charging. So I think it's a great start, Sandra.
And you're right, and that's really what we would like to push for. And that's part of the conversation we have with the LGA, because obviously road signage is not in our scope of work. But yeah, that's definitely something that we talk with LGAs when they want to put some road signage on parking things and so on. And Main Road and Australian Road have defined what it looks like to try to have a standardization as well on the messaging. And one city that did that very, very well is City of Albany, that has not only changed the law so that the ranger can fine you if you are not charging, even if you are an EV and obviously if you're on a nice vehicle. But they also have put this beautiful road signage saying that while charging, which is very, very important. But this is in the LGA's hand. And once again, that we can propose, but then that's in their hands if they have the budget for it or not. And you know, how much they feel about putting some more signage than what we provide, I guess. Yeah.
Probably, Sandra, on the Kemp Power units itself, I know we can't do the charging, but simply if you put there, you'll be charged $1 per minute parking here if you're not charging, even though we know it's not possible. Yeah, I saw the tags, you know, just a lot of people wouldn't realize, oh, is that right?
Yeah. So as you can see, it's actually on each handle, and you know, look, you just can't mount an argument that you just didn't notice it, because it's very prominent. It's right where your hand goes. It's flapping in the breeze. You know, you just can't mount an excuse.
No, it's a great start. Great.
And we were thinking, like, to be honest with you, if you reshow, Harold, sorry, if you can show the Kemp Power unit, thank you so much. Cheers. You see, like, I was thinking, you know, even putting under the instruction kind of wrapping. I was thinking adding a line as well there and so on, but there's actually really no room between the stickers, the actual stickers with the instruction and the screen. And there under the screen, there is no room either. So we were like, oh, how we are going to put it and so on. And we thought, you know what, on the plug, on the cable itself, it's probably going to be seen a bit better. And we didn't want to put the tariff directly on the handle, on the cable, just in case it's changing next year for whatever reason or whatever, so that we don't have to go to every single site and make it change. Because at the moment we are a little team working on the project, but from next year, as soon as it's going to be operational, it's going to be business as usual. So we want to avoid as much work as possible so that it stay simple to manage from next year once it's fully operational. So we thought if we just put this kind of tag on the cable, it's probably the easiest way to talk about it and to future-proof it kind of thing. So that's why we decided to go with this kind of label.
Very good. Oh, sorry, I didn't see the order of which people put their hands up. So,
Stephen.
Go, Stephen.
Me? Okay.
Yes.
Hi. I have an idea. You know, with the sticker that's on the cable, I think that's not a good idea. Someone may come along and just cut it off and say, "Well, I didn't see it." So perhaps you could put it on the actual black right next to the tip, the hard part of the plastic. The other thing is, I think this should be a national, like an EV charging strategy, where basically there could be like a national website. Every time someone sets up an EV charger, they will have like a sign to say, you know, if you're not charging or you're just parking this or you're charging the wrong way, you could be kind of dobbed in. So pretty much anyone who comes along, you see, oh, someone's icing, they'll just take a photo of that car. They'll take a photo of the, like, let's say a QR code of that parking sign, and then they can just upload to the website. The website, of course, will be run by the funds generated from, you know, the fines accrued. But I think probably we need to be nice and get people on board, and maybe just give them a warning to begin with. So if someone has a number plate, that they can know who the driver is, and then that website will contact that driver and say, look, this is the wrong thing. This is the website, you know, read about it. The next time it happens, someone else takes a photo and them doing the offense again, they'll be charged a different rate, and then maybe go higher and higher. Maybe in future, this could be integrated with the charging as well. So, you know, that charger will have a blacklist of these drivers and said, "No, sorry, you can't use these facilities." And that will, because there are people who are out there who probably have tons of money to just piss people, you know, and stagger the transition to EVs.
Well, Stephen, these are the actual, courtesy of James. Thanks, James. These are the penalties in other jurisdictions. Oh, actually, including WA, up to $1,000. Sorry, this is not for EVs, though, is it, James? This is just in general for parking for infringements. But
yeah, it's for general. If it's designated as an EV, but it's not enforceable, like Sandra said, Albany has to go and pass that law to make it say only EVs can park here. But once they do that, there's the law.
Except for the Queensland, I think that's a state.
Yeah, that's a state one that overrides everything. Yes, correct.
Now, there's actually an app called Snap Send Solve. So you can just search for that on your Google Store or your Apple App Store. Snap Send Solve. And apparently a lot of the LGAs use that for cases where people are parked incorrectly on roads or on footpaths. And once you register the app, you just take a photo of the offence, and apparently Snap Send Solve then, and it's also obviously got the location, and it works out who to send that to. So I think usually it would be the local ranger in the case of an LGA. So yeah, actually that's, and to be honest, I only heard about this only a few days ago about the Snap Send Solve. So that's something that you could start doing.
The EV chargers should have that signage, so that the EV chargers should have that signage, so that people are aware of that service. Because not many people are aware.
Look, I don't know whether that's a sanction. I don't exactly know how SnapSend Solve
It's
actually
only
works, to be honest.
operating in some councils.
Yes, so they have to sign up to the service.
Yeah, that's right.
And Perth. So I heard it on the ABC radio in Perth.
Yeah.
And it's inappropriate. Well, it's an idea we can put to Synergy, and I guess we basically are putting it to Synergy, but there's a lot of stuff we don't know yet about that app and the costs and all that sort of stuff. So
should we ask our local member of parliament?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could, but it might also be to ask your local LGA, your local government area.
Yeah,
because
be better.
Some of them
I think it
would
should be
actually
a national strategy. So in other words, it's run, you could be living in New South Wales and then offending in Queensland, and you could be the repeat offender. So, like they should have a database, a blacklist of EV drivers or even ICE drivers doing the wrong thing.
Something that ChargeFox does have in their terms and conditions, if you read it, and it's on their website, is that they do reserve the right to ban any customer from using their network. So there is that potential stick there that is possible, that could be used for someone that's just highly capitalized and just doesn't care and wants to make, I don't know, some weird point. And
it's
do
good
that.
feedback, Stephen. Like I find it's very interesting ideas. And regarding the warnings, that's something that we ask ourselves. We were like, oh, should we give 1 warning? Should we give 3 warnings? And I was not for warnings because I thought then people will use the warning. I'm French, so we always go for whatever we can to so that's very much in my culture to go this way. So I was like, I don't think they need warnings, they need information. I agree with you, but I don't think they need warning. And to be honest, except if you stay 12 hours, but who stay 12 hours on a DC charger without knowing it? It's a bit, it won't be that much money anyway. We are not talking about, $30,000. So I was like, no, I don't think we need warnings. I think it's not the right way to start with, and it makes it much more complicated as well. So since we wanted it to be implemented quite sooner than later, I think I was going for the simplest version possible, just to start with something, and maybe we can learn along the way and develop a bit more along version 2. But that's I like your blacklist idea, and I take on board the sticker on the hat part. I think it will be a bit of a learning curve, so we'll see how it goes throughout the few sites. At the moment, we have only 6 sites that are live on the Swiss. So it will be great to see what people think and get your feedback. So yeah, feel free to come back to me again, and I will have a look at myself when I will be on site, visible, and see if we can put something else, or even on the charger, if we can put more information, keeping in mind that it has to be future-proof once again, because it will go on business as usual moving forward. There won't be a team that will take care of this particular project when it's operational. So we need to think simple avenues. If not, it's not going to work. And there is nothing worse than putting things into place if then it's not follow up, I guess, because then it becomes a failure. So, but yeah, thank you so much. It's a very good feedback, Stephen. So thanks for that.
James, you got your hand up. And then I'll take Charles straight after.
Just going to say, Sandra, it's hard because you can never have the right instructions. Myself, I spend all day, every day teaching people how to use new technology. Yet when I was in Manjimup, I went to use the charger there, tapped with my phone, it didn't work. Went back to the car, got the credit card, tapped with the credit card, it didn't work. So when I got the ChargeFox card, tapped that about 3 or 4 times until I bothered to read the instructions to find out I'm supposed to tap the ChargeFox card on the charger, not the pay thing. So I guess a lot of people might have given up, and I felt like an idiot because I didn't read the instructions.
Well, I think it's a very male thing, It's like the IKEA things. You always try first, and then when you are getting very frustrated, you start to look at the instruction.
That's TFM.
Charles, you're next, and then Paul.
Hi, everyone.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention how a charging network over here in Tassie does it. It's a very similar method. They have a combined charging fee of a kilowatt hour component and a per minute component. So you're paying both for the entire duration of the charge session, and they kind of treated that like a gradual phased in idle fee. So as your charge rate got lower, you're still paying their per minute fee at the same rate. So if someone's still plugged in and they're charging at 10 kilowatts or 5 kilowatts because they're at the very top end of the battery, they'll be paying a higher effective rate, and that sort of acts as an idle fee. But I always thought that they continue that per minute fee after the charge session finished, but I just found out earlier this week that they don't, and that the reason was that ChargeFox didn't support it. So now that they support it, now that the WA EV network has put the pressure on ChargeFox, I'm hoping that EHT over here can take advantage of that and implement the same thing here.
Can I say on behalf of the club, it's an awesome initiative that Synergy themselves have single-handedly gotten ChargeFox to do. And
good.
that's a great achievement, isn't it? So, I think ChargeFox were one of the very few charge point operators or billing service providers. They were one of the last to actually include push notifications. Everyone else did it, and ChargeFox notably didn't. So I think we have a lot to thank for Synergy and to an extent Horizon Power for pushing the needle in the right direction.
Yeah. I think it's
Paul,
really from the
sorry,
EV community, Harold.
Okay.
I think it's really from the EV community. That's you guys that tell us how important it was, and therefore we really put this in the customer requirements when we ask for tender. And as you know, when we go for tender, there are several people that answer with their products, and ChargeFox didn't have this feature, while the competition had these features. So we knew it was possible to implement. We knew it was happening on smaller companies and more like startup companies. So I think it's credit to you guys and to all the hard work that you are putting and supporting us along the way. So yeah, my heart goes to you, Harold, in particular, and all the other experts on this project, really, that has been massive help for us to understand better the customer needs and therefore to shape the products where we can. We haven't won all the battle, but that's one that we have won, and I'm really happy with that.
So Chuck, even though you are ahead of us in time, we are ahead of you in features, but you will be getting them soon enough. Okay, so
you could say that the per minute charge is sort of a entry level version of an idle fee.
Yes. Well, and it should, yeah, and then let's hope. Well, obviously, you are going to get them as an idle fee on the top as well at the back end, which is great.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the great thing about this thing is there's no doubt that once ChargeFox has implemented it on the WAEV network, it can be implemented simultaneously everywhere, or not, according to whatever each customer's demands are. So that's pretty awesome. Paul, you had your hand up, and then we'll go to Steve.
Cool. Thanks, Sandra, for keeping it simple. With the idle fees and stuff like that. I was thinking, as I used to work in council, with regards to signage and stuff like that, not to have too much, because people get like signage fatigue and things like that, and they just don't see it. And it was like for instance, we had parking signs that was like, there was 3 different ones all about different things, and it went from top to down and that sort of stuff, and people didn't really see it and that sort of stuff. But I think actually on the handle's a good idea, because people got no excuse. And like 80-90% of Tesla owners, so we all know about idle fees. So you don't listen to the noise. They just don't want to pay, and maybe they'll pay us for a charger or something like that, or maybe the up the middle network be funded by the idiots. So thanks for listening.
Actually, I'm going to take that, Paul. What you just said at the last bit was the most important part you said, and that's we should ask Synergy and Horizon Power, or actually the West Australian government and Treasury, who have the money, that for less than a mere $5 million, you could have chargers running all the way from Perth to Port Hedland up and passing Carragini, which, that'd be a great thing to inform or to remind the Minister for Tourism, as well as the Minister for Energy and the Minister for Transport, and the Premier for that matter, that less than $5 million will basically cover WA for most of what it needs to do, and the rest is just really nice to haves. Steve,
you should put that graphic up, Harold, if you can find your tweet while Steve is formulating his question.
Oh, I formulated my question, Pete. And Charles, I've got to say that I do not like the model that is in Tasmania, partially because, and like Pete, we want to start towing things behind our car, so we need to get maximum range to get to the next fast charging point. If it's only 200 kilometers apart, that's right on the edge of my range if I'm towing. So being penalized because I need to get the full charge just to get to the next charging spot would not seem fair to me.
Well, I'm not sure how recently it's been since you were here, but there are now extra fast chargers going in between the original network. There's even a few which are there's some that are only 25 kilowatts, but on the upside, the time charge is lower on those. So you can pick and choose whichever ones you want, I guess.
Yeah, I'd definitely like to charge often and keep going, which is why I keep on banging about drive-throughs, as Sandra knows. It's often the question I ask, just to make the journey more pleasant.
Yeah.
And I'd rather charge to 90% and then keep going, because the last 10% takes forever, but needs must until we get enough charges along the way.
Steve, have you had a chance to go to Williams yet? The WA EV Network charger in Williams?
No, I haven't yet.
When you get a chance, absolutely brilliant. Perfect configuration for a towing EV. You've got basically an island in the middle. You can, and there's 3 spots from memory, so 2 DC, 1 AC, but you can actually go around the other side of the island, which we had to do when we were coming back from Albany, because there was quite a few cars there. Yeah, there it is on the left there.
Yep. So I'll park at the wrong side near the transformers or something and drag the cable across.
Yeah. Oh, no, you actually can. There was a car. I was actually charged. That was my car there. And then another car rocked up, and I actually got Pete to unhook me, and was an MG, Pete? Or, no, it was a Polestar. Actually charged from this side, so there was no issue doing that. Now, sorry. What was the other thing I was going to show you? Oh, yes, this map. So this is. The red pins, this is just Tokwa doctoring Synergy's map and putting in the red pins, which is only 7 additional charges at Dalwallinu, Paynesvine, Mount Magnet, Meekatharra, Coomarina, Newman and Oski Roadhouse. And that will get you an unbroken string of pearls between Kings Park and Port Hedland. And it also basically closes the loop to get you to Nyanyatara and all of that. And it's less than $5 million. So,
more like 4 million, I think you calculated.
I think it's no secret that the total budget is on the order of $22 to $25 million, and there's 49 locations. So let's call it $500,000 each. Although perhaps some of the off-grid ones might be a bit more expensive, but then again they're lower power, so it's probably much of a muchness. And they don't need network augmentation, which is a huge cost. So less than 5 million. It was just safer to put that in the tweet. I didn't want to say 4 million and be told it's 4.1 because someone will criticise you. So it's just less than 5 million. It's a nice round number. Alrighty. So has anyone else got any other questions of Sandra before we let her get to her family, because this is her very valuable time that she's giving up for us.
Okay.
No other questions? I think you're all good to go, Sandra. But thank you very much. And really look forward to seeing you perhaps another time and ask us anything for maybe another progress report. and some exciting developments later on in the project.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, I think in a couple of weeks also, if we can reiterate the idle fee idea, to all communities and so on. Like, and if you see other people, if you don't mind to talk about it as well, see if they have any question, because for some of you, it's very, very simple and it makes sense and so on. But for some new EV drivers, they are not that familiar with idle fee. People of the public. So the more you talked about it, and the better education we will have. So that will also help us along the way. And Michelle, I just wanted to let you know that don't desperate while Paul is happening. I promise.
Oh,
I know. I'm so sorry. It has been delayed. We had a lot of quacks with this one, but it is happening before the end of the month. That's all I can tell you. So it is happening. Don't desperate. It is coming. It is coming. And while we don't really have commissioning dates for other sites, we have 7 sites right now that are on the start of construction or on construction. So it's slower. Sometimes there is 3 in 1 week, like Williams, Meetup, and Albany, and sometimes for several weeks it's work in progress. But yeah, be aware that the rollout is still coming. We are still working as hard and pushing as hard as we can. Sometimes quite complicated to align contractors, Western Power, Synergy, like everyone together. So sometimes it can be a bit, deferred or take quite some time, but it is happening. There is already civil works have started in Ravensthorpe, in Coolgardie, in Kings Park. If you're around, I think Southern Cross, Jeremiah, and I think we are going to start soon Merredin, Bunbury. So yeah, there is quite in the next 3 months, there is also a lot of construction happening on Synergy side. Then, as you know, it doesn't mean that will be the one that will be operational first, but that's happening. There is a launch in Broome on the 19th of July. If you are still keen to spend a whole week to go up there, Harold, I think you're going to be the only
idiot
doing that. And I believe that the next one in the pipeline with no dates and so on, but Horizon Power was talking about Carnarvon. Was that Exmouth or Esperance? I'm always mixed up. North or south?
Denham. And
was it?
also Derby is coming online in a couple of months, which is even worse because that's further away. That's another 5-day trip. But the good thing is each of these 5-day trips will become 4-day trips and maybe 3-day trips as the fast DC chargers get installed, and it's so much quicker.
Yeah. And Lenslin is fully operational since Tuesday. So it was missing, as you know, you were able to charge, but it was missing the PayMate system. So you were not able to pay by credit card. Now it has been commissioned by credit card, so it's fully operational. It's all good to go. And there's been an issue last week. We had a bit of a red flag in several of them. It was a busy weekend. We had Geraldton, then Northampton, and then Meetup that were offline. But they're all good to go, and the response has been very quick as well. So it's great to have these kind of issues because it's testing us. So just to let you know that they're all good to go, and they were good to go in less than 24 hours. So that's pretty good as well. Sometimes it was not even a fault from the charger. Sometimes it was just an outage or things like that, and then the AC charger was still working. So it's great to see all these little quacks along the way. And thanks again to all of you to let us know as well when it happens, because we don't always receive the notification, particularly during the weekend. I'm not always on my phone. So yeah, if you see things and so on and you want to provide feedback, yeah, it's always great to have the information firsthand. So don't hesitate to liaise with us and let us know so that we can improve the way we are doing things. So that's about it. I don't know if I have missed any question on the chat because I can't follow the chat and the people. So I'm not sure if there was anything. I don't know if you can see it, Harold.
Is there anyone that has got a burning question? If you can answer it right now, and then if not, we'll let Sandra, like I said, get back to her family.
Go to my crying baby.
I think a good Sandra. Yeah, you're good to go. No, once again, thank you very much, Sandra Giri from Synergy. Really appreciate it. It's been great. Look forward to seeing you another time.
Have a lovely night. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great night.
Thank you.
See ya.
Good night.
Thanks, Sandra. See ya.
See ya.
Now, Charles, you put up this photo. Can you please explain it?
Please explain.
Please explain. It's an EV Tritium. Tritium chargers, 2 of them.
Yeah. It was just an example. I think Steve was talking about towing something through Tassie. I just thought I'd highlight. Just thought I'd highlight a towing friendly site. I think there was a picture up earlier. I think the drone shot of Williams. One of yours?
Yeah. I'll just I think I just closed it, but I'll just grab that again. It was probably this one. Oh, there it is. Oops. Sorry.
There we go.
Yeah, just fighting the whoa. Just fighting the computer. There we go. Yeah, so that's 3 in line. Of course, it all falls down if someone parks their car sort of here and is charging, and this one's empty. Then you've got to kind of you could just sort of swing it around a bit, and then that car can just reverse or whatever.
Well, Harold, you could be on the other side of the island,
or you could go on the other side. Yes, no, you actually can if you're a Tesla. If you're a Tesla, you can because your charge port's just here. But if you're some other car, you could then swing the other way. Yes, you could then. Yeah, you could swing.
Just jump the curb or anything like that as well.
Well, yeah, we have got photos of that too, going around, doing the rounds. Was someone went over the curb? Yeah. Anyway, it's just. Yeah.
Well, these are going to become more important as time goes on, especially for camper trailers and things like that, because they're trying to encourage this sort of activity. So, like Steve, I think it's really important.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And one thing that doesn't help, with say future vehicles is Tesla's, for example, Lancelin site, which this is only a Model Y. It's not the fattest car in Tesla's range. The Model X is, and you got to do you got to drive in frontwards to charge on this charger, and you've got to stall both side, front and back, and then you've got this very unforgiving curb, which is I think this car had the Uber turbines on it, and if I just looked at that curb, it would have rim rashed my car.
It was painful.
Unfortunately, Tesla haven't done us any favors at Lancelin on that base. That's going to be the least used bay. It'll be this bay and the one to the left of that. That'll get the most use, and this one will be the only one you use if the other 2 are occupied.
These barrier curbs really should be used only when there's no other option. Like these semi-mountables are the way to go. They don't wreck your rims. They're easy for people to, if they get a bit out, they're more forgiving.
So what we might do is approach the council and see if there's any possibility whatsoever for them to get a concrete saw and just cut a 45 angle on this curb.
That'd be great.
I mean, it'd be really nice if they could actually just delete the curb or maybe reform it where this line of fake bricks are. But look, we can only ask nicely.
There's plenty of room there to take out a couple of rows of bricks, and that would
take 2 courses out.
Well, they're not bricks, Pete. It's fake. It's that stenciled on.
Yeah, it's stenciled concrete.
It's stenciled concrete.
Oh, that's easy enough. Get a concrete saw. Done.
Yes. Yeah. We could do
that.
We could just get a few boys together and we'll just we'll get a cement mixer on the back of a trailer and a concrete saw, and
you know what? That's what we used to do in the old days. The
just
council,
get stuff done.
The boys would just get it done.
I've got a few high-vis jackets.
Yep.
We could work really slowly so we look authentic. We could have like we could have a casual meetup there at the same time, so there's lots of people attending in high vis.
We'll steal a sign, the slow sign or something.
No, we'll borrow it. Paul, come on, we only borrow signs, we don't steal them.
Yeah, exactly.
Alrighty,
great. Put bits of steak down there, and Tash, whatever her name is, can come and protest and dig it all up for us.
Ash Peterson.
Yeah, that's the one.
Very good. Alrighty. Has anyone else got any other questions?
Yeah, I've got my hand up, Harold.
Oh, sorry, Steve. I wasn't looking to my left. I'll go straight to you as after Steve. Jack.
Right.
Go, Steve.
So while we're on the subject of charging, the next round of supercharger voting has opened.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, cool. Have we got any WA ones?
No.
Mother.
No.
Son of a. I put heaps
do
of
I have an option for you?
suggestions.
Yep, I think Port Wakefield is the closest.
What is Tesla doing, man?
So I've submitted Ceduna as a location to be voted on in the future.
Yeah, good one.
Can you please, and I think I mentioned this a few weeks ago, can everyone please mention Ceduna and probably Norseman at this stage? Because that starts to close the gap, and then we got to keep going further until we get to sort of like Border Village, and then Tesla can backfill, even if that's in 2020 something. So can someone put the link for the voting? I just don't know where the voting is at this minute. James?
This is the
No, yeah.
So at the top there, tesla.com/ENAU/overview or something like that. Let me see if I can. Where am I?
All you need to do is Google supercharger voting, and it comes up.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Oh, thanks, Charles. Thanks, Chuck.
Yeah,
it's just a
called
lot quicker.
overview.
I find it difficult. I'm only a mere male, and I can't type and talk at the same time. It's really hard. Okay, so here it is. This is the get rid of that legend, and these are the locations that you can vote for.
It's not
and
right.
The closest to us is Port Wakefield from memory.
Yeah.
Which actually, I reckon that's where the supercharger. That's where the Clare supercharger should have gone the whole. Originally, because that's the more direct route to WA and to Port Augusta. But it was because Jamestown is where the big battery is, and because Elon Musk was driving there from Adelaide or being driven there, he basically very quickly got the Clare supercharger installed. But Chuck, we should vote for Campbelltown. No, sorry, is that right?
Yeah, that's it.
Yes, yep. Campbelltown.
Yep, that's a good idea, Rory. Yeah.
Yeah, because that'll be the third supercharger, because you've got one coming in Hobart, hopefully soon. I hope it's very soon. And Campbelltown would be great. And then, to be honest, I've got no opinion of any of the others, because all of that side of the country is pretty well suited. And I mean, do we need to vote for even more in Melbourne? Like, Tesla would have just done that anyway.
Yeah. It's a bit crazy because in the cities, Tesla already has the data on where the cars are and things like that, and how many are charging and how busy the existing sites are. So do you really need to vote for those ones? I wouldn't think so. And the fact they've got Mansfield there as well, just that one there, yeah.
Yep.
It's strange that they've got that one there this time, because if you zoom in, I think the what's that one just to the west there? Yay? Is it Yay?
I think it's Yay.
I think so.
It's not. I'd have to go back to the normal supercharger thing.
Okay.
But I think
it's that one anyway.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, yes.
Yep. Yeah, the original coming soon pin was originally in Mansfield, which ended up being Yay. So it's obviously a site that they were trying for ages, and they couldn't get anything there. But now it's suddenly an option again, so I don't know how that works.
Well, I can see that it's an interesting for those going to the snowfields, the Victorian snowfields. I think that's probably the logic. I also voted for Orange.
Well, you like cold country, do you, Steve?
There's a little trick with Orange and Bateman's Bay. Those two sites are already funded from the New South Wales government grants, so they'll be getting sites anyway. So your orange is that 151 there.
Yep.
And Bateman's Bay is the 173 down the coast.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
So they're already going to get superchargers. I think might be a 6 or 12 stall for Bateman's Bay, something like that. Pretty big. Yeah. So you can save votes if you haven't voted already. You can skip those two.
Yeah, I've kept a couple of votes up my sleeve until after we spoke tonight.
But yeah, hey, let's like Steve has done. I've also put in a pre-vote last month or last quarter for Sejuna and Norseman. So that way it leaves a gap between Southern Cross and Norseman, being Kalgoorlie or Coolgardie. So you always want to try and get Tesla to stretch their superchargers, because then it actually forces them to backfill them anyway to make them useful.
Yeah,
but
that's a good tactic.
I think it's the only tactic we've got, Charles. It's like short of going to the Model 2 reveal in Fremont,
and
yelling out, Border Village, Australia, or the Nullarbor, or have superchargers right round Australia. I dare you, 10,000 miles of superchargers in Australia or something, but it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay, Jack, you've been very patiently holding your hand up. So yeah, please ask away.
No problem, and happy weekend as well. I'll start by Robin to jump on here a bit of a chat. I'm picking up my Tesla tomorrow, actually. But I actually live in Tom Price, way up north near Karajini. So yeah, a few questions there in terms of charging, and I believe they have a cable that
Yes, so I'm going to lend you a cons cable, which is a 3-phase. It's got a 32 amp plug on one end and a Type 2 at the other. And basically, it's funny because what I'm going to have to get you to do is, if you can please drop it off use it at Nanyatara Roadhouse, and then just leave it there, because I'll be there on Sunday and I can collect it. Because I think you're leaving on Friday.
True, this is all a bit in the air at the moment, but hopefully I'll be in Melbourne Friday night and heading our ways early that day. Seeing how things go. So yeah.
So Jack, are you in Tom Price at the moment?
No, I'm in Mandurah at the moment. South.
Oh, okay. Because I was just going to criticise NBN for having really crappy internet in Tom Price, but it's actually Mandurah. Sorry about that. You're just breaking in and out. Your voice is very robotic. But sorry about that.
No,
that's okay.
Starlink up north.
Oh yeah, no. Starlink's awesome. Yes, Steve.
If you're lending your cone to Jack, do you want to borrow mine?
No. Sorry, what I meant was I can lend.
Yeah, I know you're going to pick up on the way through, but if you want to take away that risk.
No. Sorry, I didn't explain myself properly. I'll be bringing our cons with me, because I need to, and then I'll give Jack another one to borrow.
That's okay. Just make sure it's a spare, that you had something.
Yeah, no, that's cool. And I'll collect it at Nanyatara either on Sunday evening when I stay there overnight after leaving Perth on Sunday morning, or I'll collect it on Thursday night when I come back from Nanyatara next Thursday night. Yeah. So there's two opportunities to collect it, because I have to actually send it to Brisbane, because we have a new member who is relocating from Brisbane to Perth, and we'll be using it across the Nullarbor to get to Perth. So I've got to airbag that to him early the next week. So he can borrow that one. So yeah, so Jack, I think Rob Dean would have passed my details to you, or if he.
Yeah, no.
Sorry,
I'll give him a message here yet.
Actually, what I'll do is I'll just give you my number in the chat. That's my mobile in the chat. So just ring me tomorrow and we'll sort it out. And
thank you.
what I'll do too is, sorry, I'll just try not to spin out. Filters. Oh, wow. Sorry, plug share has just gone really strange. I'm just trying to bring up the map. Oh, maybe I won't. Because for some awesome reason, PlugShare has lost its plugs.
Yeah, I got this. It's
Oh, I had two. Oh, it's come back to me.
If you scroll down a bit, I think it'll show up.
And let me just reload. Okay, if we hit there, we don't have legend. What the hell?
If you go under filters and scroll down a bit, it's networks, vehicles and plugs.
Vehicle plugs, here we go. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, what? It looks like it's got, yeah, okay. So what the hell? More plugs that may require, okay, anyway, yes. So they're all on. We're not seeing them all, unfortunately. So, wow, they must have done an update on their site and it's just,
Yeah, send me a list.
Hide restricted access or coming soon. Those additional filters under coming soon.
Hide, sorry. No,
coming soon.
Available now.
Try unticking coming soon and just see if it shows all of them. Oh, you've got free charging ticked.
Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, that looks a little bit better.
Is that better?
I think that's better. Okay, so Jack, what you'll be doing is you'll be leaving Perth, obviously, and then what you should do, you've got a long range Model 3.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, so the first place you should charge is at Lance. You don't really need to. Well, actually, let's just charge at Lancelin. So go to Wangaree Park and just charge at the WEV network. So for that, you just need to. Well, you don't really need to download the ChargeFox app, but it's going to make it easy if you do that. Or you can use a credit card payment just at this Paymate and just read the instructions. But charge up at Lancelin. It's a 14-kilometre diversion, but it's worth it. And then the next place you can charge is actually at Northampton. So you can go from Lancelin to Northampton, or you can also charge at the Geraldton WEV network. So that's just here, and that's just another fast DC charger. So that's definitely worth charging there. And then after that, you go to Northampton, and top right up here. So just allow yourself the time to get, you can go close to 100%. Just have a little break.
Was saying once it drops below 1 kilowatt, leave.
Oh, say again?
Was saying that it reaches about 11 kilowatts, just leave.
Yes, you can. Yeah, you can. You can just leave when it gets to 11 kilowatts. And then what you can do is your next location to get to Carnarvon is via Billabong Roadhouse, Billabong Homestead, Hotel Motel. And there is a Tesla destination charger just in the back. So what you should always do on PlugShare is zoom right in on the pin. So I'm a bit of a pin Nazi, and if you go to satellite view, that is exactly where it is, basically. So you just drive past, there's an open entrance there, you go around in between these dongers and you just park back here, and that's where the destination charger is.
He did mention the cable that may be damaged. He's sure of the state of it at the moment.
Okay. Yeah. So if that's the case, there is a 3-phase outlet approximately here, which is what you use the cons cable for. It's a 32 amp 3-phase outlet, a socket. So you drive the opposite direction. You go, if this is damaged and not working, you drive back the way you came, and you go along here down to the bottom. You go, I think that's closed. I think you go along here out the back and then come back down, and it's round about here. And it's got a switchboard attached to it, like a little switchboard. And there's a 32 amp 3-phase outlet there. So that's if the destination charger right here isn't working.
Looks like a drive-through to me.
Sorry, Steve?
Yeah, drive-through. Avoid the destination charger.
It's a caravan park. They're actually caravan.
Oh, you mean a drive-in? Did you mean a drive-in, Steve?
So if I had my camper trailer attached, I could park
yes,
beside
very
it.
Good. Yes, yes, you can, and you can charge slowly all day at Billabong. Bearing in mind, Billabong's actually going to be the most southerly part of the northern section of the Horizon Power network for the WAV network. So there will be a fast DC charger at Billabong by no later than this time next year. So, Jack, after you've got to Billabong, then it's just a dawdle to Carnarvon. And depending on, I don't know whether you're going to overnight in Carnarvon. The only place to go to is the Carnarvon Motel.
That plan is, Carnarvon overnight.
Yeah. So, so you can just basically plug in. There are 2 destination chargers. Sorry, I don't know where the other one is. Oh, there they are. There's 2 there. So they're side by side, and you can just plug in. Obviously, if you're charging overnight or any time, always make sure that once you've plugged in and you're sort of ready to go, like walk away, just make sure your car's actually charging, just in case. Because what you wouldn't want to do is, say, have lunch for an hour, or even worse, go to bed, wake up in the morning only to find out that you haven't been charging. So just make sure that once you've plugged in, you just check on either your app or your screen that your car is actually charging. But yeah, so Carnarvon, you just stay at the Carnarvon Motel. Bear in mind, you've got to be there before closing time, or you've got to have a room booked, and they put your key in like a little key locker, because the access to the inside of the Carnarvon Motel compound is via a security gate, and you need a tag which comes with your keys to get through the gate after hours. But even if you were, say, driving through Carnarvon, if you look at PlugShare, there are actually people, they charge $30 for people that aren't staying overnight. So you can just charge during the daytime, which again is which is exactly what I'll be doing on Sunday afternoon, charging at Carnarvon. And then after Carnarvon, you've just got Nyanyatara, which is pretty cool. You basically charge right next to the actual genset, and you can see the 3-phase outlet just there in the photo. I think that was my car, and then I think Pete, you didn't take a photo of yours. Oh,
no,
yes,
I did.
Yes, you did. There it is. No, yes. No, that's not you. That's got roof racks. That's interesting. Maybe that was you. No, it wasn't. Anyway, maybe you didn't, or maybe it just didn't appear. But that's Nyanyatara. So then please, Jack, leave the cons at Nyanyatara. Just give it to the reception, or I'm not even sure if the hotel, just give it to hotel reception, which is probably just the main counter anyway.
Different to the main, yeah.
And then you've just got a short drive to Tom Price, and it's less than 300 Ks direct. So you don't need to go to Parabadoo. You can just go straight to Tom Price.
That's a bit. So I'll probably do the road trip.
Say that again, Jack.
The route is sealed.
Sorry, can you try that a third time? We might get it lucky this time.
It's unsealed road to Paradu from to Tom Price Tara. So I'll have to go via Paradu down the road.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, understood.
Or leaving from Tom Price in your Model S and not realise that that's a gravel road, and then do the whole 48 k's of the corrugated gravel road in your Model S, which still creaks a bit. And because you have no cellular connection, you have no idea.
So you mean to say, Jack, that when you turn off here, which is the Parablue Road, past there, it's unsealed?
Where's this? Yeah, road there. That is unsealed. That rock road. Dirt, corrugated crap. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I can
Must be
attest to that.
unsealed further along. Right. Oh, yes.
I think we've still got some of Emma's fingernails in the steering wheel.
It's heaps of fun,
Yeah,
Richard.
Turn off before you hit the dirt to go the back to Parabadu. It's the only way to do it.
Yeah.
That road still, I wouldn't call it a road.
Yeah, right. So
we passed two guys in a cruiser. They carry 4 spare tires, and they're like, if you go down here in that, you're braver than we are. But we were fully committed by then.
Yeah, it's the risk when you're that far up north.
Awesome. So, that's it. That's it, Jack. So it's really easy. Like I said, please ring me tomorrow, and I'll get you that cons adapter, so you can take that up. And like I said, please leave it at Nanyatara, and they'll collect it either Sunday night or Thursday night, the following Thursday night. And then the thing too is, have you gotten your car yet, or I forget if you said you got it or you're going to get it?
Up tomorrow. Yeah.
Tomorrow. Okay, cool.
Haven't even touched it yet. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So the good news is, if you're not into sentimental sort of events where people sort of fawn all over you and want to talk to you for hours and hours, Tesla is a great place to collect a car. So what you do is you just tell them your name. There'll be someone to welcome you. You just tell them your name. I think they usually ask for your driver's license just to prove that you are who you are. And then they'll give you like a little folder. They'll give you a little folder, and that's got your invoice and rego papers and the 2 key cards. And then they'll say that your car is sitting in slot number B2 or C11, and you just wander over to where your car is. And basically, if you've got no further questions, you can just hop in your awesome car and just go. But on the other hand, there are delivery people available, and they're very attentive, and you can just flag one down or approach one and say, hey, can you please help me with perhaps, syncing your phone with your car or doing a few other little tasks. So just make sure you're logged into the Tesla app with your email and your password, and everything will be great.
Yeah, and you can do some of the delivery tasks through the app.
Yeah, I'm in private self, so yeah, it'll be a bit of a.
Say that again, Jack.
Mine's private sale.
Oh, private sale. Oh,
yeah.
Okay, so in that case, look, you shouldn't assume. In that case, make sure that the person that you're buying the car from transfers the car via their app to you. So make sure that if you haven't already done so, set up a Tesla account. So just register, and you've done it already, Jack?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Okay. So then all you need to do is tell the person that you're buying the car from your Tesla account email address. And then what they do in their app is they actually say, I am selling this, I'm disposing of this car. And then their app will ask them for your email address. So that as long as they put in your email address, then you will get a notification on your app that says to accept this car. And once you say yes, then you have full control of the car and they lose all control of the car. So it's a very smooth process, but instantaneous. It takes seconds. But make sure they do it while you're there, because otherwise the alternate process is you have to ring Tesla or go to, I think it's sort of ring or go to, well, you could try and go to the service center and say, hey, I just bought this car. And then they have to do stuff in the background, but that's a lot slower than your seller actually doing it via their app. And they may not realize this, so just make sure you tell them, please go in, and that you usually have like a list of cars. Well, sorry, I mean, not everyone has a list of cars, but you can have a car, and you go to, I think it's the person actually. I'm just going to have a look.
So,
yes.
Harold, while you're doing that, I was just going to say to Jack, make sure you get both key cards as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll definitely sure of that. Yeah.
So I just went to, what you do is you go to, well, this is for anyone in general, but on the upper right side of your screen, you've got your little profile image or your little icon. You click on that. At the bottom, there is add and remove products. You can't see this. I'm just sort of saying it out loud verbally. Add and remove products. You click on add and remove products. There is add and there's also remove tab. You just click on the remove. In my case, I've got only one car on my account because my wife's is on a different account. And then once you click on that, it says you can get started and it's got security stuff and all this stuff. But once you get started in that process, all I need to do is nominate your email address and then you will gain, provided you're registered with Tesla already, you'll gain access to that car.
Amazing. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
No worries. And if you've got any issues or questions, just give me a ring on the number that I gave you in the chat. Or in fact, you could actually, at any time, even if you don't know what my mobile number is, you can ring TOCWA's helpline, which is 62623131. And that's that will basically come to us and we can answer any questions. Now, speaking of questions, David has been very patiently had his hand up. So David, I'll throw to you. But Jack, if you've got any other questions, do follow up after David's. Go, David.
Sorry, I'm unmuting first. Mine's fairly simple. For the last couple of weeks, we've had this message that comes up fairly regularly that we can't charge with a fast charger. We've got to just charge on our normal charger at home, and we should seek service. Is that a common problem? Is it from rain?
So say that again. So have you gone to a fast charger and it says it can't charge?
Well, it just pops up on the screen as we're driving along, saying this is a warning that you can't charge this car with a DC. You've got to use your AC.
Oh, look, I'd go straight away. I'd take a photo of that notification, or at least just remember what the wording was, and book a service request through your app straight away.
Okay.
It almost sounds to me like Sorry, I was just going to say it sounds. Oh, sorry. You go, David, and I'll wait.
Susie wondered whether it's because she washed the car and got some water in it, but we checked it out and they can't see any water or anything in it. We tried vacuuming it and
it sounds to me like it might be the internal contactors or something like that in the charger unit. The car may have detected a fault and therefore it's not going to allow itself to be fast DC charged. So no, that's something you should definitely promptly book a service request.
Yep.
And just mention that's what your car says. You've got a notification. They can look up your car's notifications and confirm that is the case, and then they can decide what to do. My amateur guess is they might replace your onboard charger. because that's part of the whole AC/DC thing.
Gotcha. Thank you.
No worries.
You might even be able to go into, I think it's notifications under service in your screen, and you'll be able to see the last few notifications. So yeah, press on that one, take a photo of it, and include the photo with your service request.
Alrighty. Has anyone else got any other questions or comments?
We need to
Cybertruck.
sing happy birthday.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, whose birthday?
It's go Pete. Whose birthday is it? Or what's birthday is it?
It's all of our birthday. It's Tesla's 20-year birthday since they were founded. They've been operating for over 20 years now.
Time flies, man.
They've almost grown up to be 21 and be mature.
No, that'll never happen.
420.
0.69. I was actually just talking to Pete about that. We are still going to have a party when Tesla's share price is $420.69.
Yeah, it's messing with us at the moment.
Oh, yeah, I haven't even looked.
It's coming up a couple of percent, $277.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, it dropped $10 last night.
It's on the pre-open, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about to actually open.
Another 8 seconds.
There's nothing like watching the nearly
3, 2, 1 now.
So it's going to open up
2.5%.
76. There you go.
There you go. That's nice.
Yeah, it's good.
That's very nice. It's less than halfway to 420.69. So that's very good.
Just home stretch now, Harold.
Yes, as long as it's not a local maximum or or a false dawn, it's all good. And as soon as the Cybertruck comes, anyway. Did someone say Cybertruck?
Yeah.
Right-hand drive Cybertruck. Is that what you mean?
Yes. That's
well,
drive by wire.
Something the club, and it's no secret that something the club will be advocating on behalf of all its members, and many of those in this room, is that since Tesla didn't produce the refreshed Model X and S into Australia, a great consolation prize would be to expedite right-hand drive Cybertruck. So, let's just make that happen, Tesla.
Next year.
And no doubt they've got to reach their volume production, and most of that will be local sales. So that's understandable. But, Tesla defines volume production is at 250,000 car rate. So they should do that within 12 months or so. But yeah, after that, right-hand drives, please.
Yep.
Maybe we should learn to make the right-hand drive first. Get the hard ones over with and done.
Yeah.
I think that's
exactly.
a better idea. Any bugs they can sort out with the left-hand drive later.
Yeah.
Well, perhaps we need to get a tax incentive. We need to all be watching Utopia and working out from those guys how to do it. And we need to get some tax incentives for Tesla to have their global headquarters in Australia and actually have a SpaceX headquarters in the tip of Queensland, which is near the equator. And then Elon Musk would move to Australia. And if he lived here, he'd have to be driving a right-hand drive car. And of course, he would then make it happen, wouldn't he?
And he'd need more charges.
He'd need more charges, that's right.
Got to get him to live in Perth, and then that way.
So, we need to...
Get
him to live in Esperance.
Well, he could live... Yeah. Well, actually, he could have Tesla's headquarters near Green Bushes, so in WA, because because that's where the lithium mine is and nickel mines and all that sort of stuff. And then have SpaceX headquarters at the tip of Queensland, and you have to just drive his car across another bore regularly on the left side of the road.
He can take the shortcut
on the on the what's it called, the Great Australian Way,
the longest shortcut. Yeah, in Australia.
Yes. All right. Well, that's not going to happen.
Have we any politicians that are willing to actually court him like the rest of the world?
No.
They're too busy travelling around the world to stop here and organise it.
Every other country court him. But not
Just a quick one, Harold. With your first set of tyres on the Model X, how many miles did you get?
Oh, sorry, Peter, say that again.
I'm just wondering, on your first set of tyres on your Model X, what mileage did you get?
Oh, I was disappointed. I think I got. It wasn't much more than 50,000 Ks, to be honest.
I got 40 and I didn't even flog it. 40.
Oh, did you have automatic lowering by accident though?
No, I listened to you on that and didn't ever vary it.
Yeah, right.
40,000.
And it's just the insides are shagged out, haven't they? Just the insides are gone to steel belts.
On
the back.
The front, it was both sides. On the back, it was as if my tyres run inflated, and yet I ran them at 50.
Yeah, right. And your suspension's on normal, normal height. Yeah.
Yep.
Look, I try and get a wheel alignment, but the problem is it's the angle, it's the camber, if that's what the right term is. And the good news is that the refreshed Model X, they fixed that issue because they've got adjustable camber now. But on the legacy ones, it's not adjustable. And Richard Chapman, who is in the room, he attempted to put a kit into his Model S. And how did that work for you, Richard?
It was an absolute disaster, unmitigated, expensive, time-consuming. But the kit that I got, I mean, to be fair, it was the place where I did it, and he suggested it. He did it with good faith, but man, it was just a disaster. But I think it's Unplugged Performance in the US do like an inline adjuster now. So the torsion, sorry, not torsion bar, the control arm was kind of like an offset bolt. It was a weird kind of thing. But of course, you know, when you've got over 500 horsepower, well, anyway, you got a lot of torque going through that. Going through those wheels, it just kept breaking it. And the bushes were noisy as well. So, but yeah, I think Unplugged have now sorted that because they've got like an inline one with like a double locking nut. So you can set it. And I think that apparently does work. But I just fessed up and went back to Tesla and they laughed and then fitted some new parts because they couldn't use the originals because the bushes were destroyed. So it was an expensive lesson, really. So there is. So yeah, I run the tires at 50 now. Yeah, always have it on normal suspension, no lowering. There is a guy, is it Bob James in Claremont, and he can kind of get a bit of the camber out. You can kind of get it to like maybe like -1. He's done it for me a few times, and then Tesla in their lovely infinite wisdom then went, oh yeah, your alignment was out, so we corrected it as well. Cheers. So I paid twice to have it not fixed.
My alignment wasn't real smart either.
Right.
I had both half shafts replaced, and then the upper control arms were shot too. They had to have those replaced.
Okay.
But I was disappointed with the tyres because I wasn't down to any of the wear marks across the tyre.
Yeah, I know.
And yet I was running them at 50, and you'd swear blind they were underinflated. But John said if he'd seen the alignment results, he could probably fine tune that. That's John Fowler. But they showed me the results, and they didn't mean much to me, and I didn't get a copy. So yeah, fun and games.
Yeah, I think the guy that I was going to, I think he said he'd do a bit of toe in on the rears, because then you're throwing the weight out to the outside of the tire. I think that was what he would do. And I said, oh, does it affect much range? And he said he didn't think it did from people that he's done it for. But yeah, it's just one of those things that I keep meaning to do, is to get both the S and the X through him. But yeah, life, just been busy.
Yeah, I know the feeling. Yeah.
Speaking of the X, this obviously completely relates to the Model X, and that is how it compares to the Cybertruck right next door to it.
Oh wow. Okay.
I can't see the Cybertruck. Where's that? It's camouflage.
Yes.
Oh my God. That's going to be awesome.
I think Emma would kill me.
Yeah, but it'd be
I know
worth it.
Leonie's going to kill me, but oh well.
But it'll be worth it.
Shit,
Might have to get them wrapped after all.
That
looks good.
Just get it wrapped like a Model X.
No, the Cybertruck. That looks
So
awesome.
that's just awesome. That's actually courtesy of James Maitland, who has just recently left us. I mean, as in, he went to bed.
You'd have to do it in burnt orange, though, wouldn't you?
Wow.
Oh yes, burnt orange. Oh look,
jeez.
I'm going to have to do that for mine just so I can take it to Damon's place and say, "Look, mate, it looks just like your Model X."
You'd
and I
love
think
that.
he would. Yes, he would. But yeah, so it's no good to hear, Peter, about your tyres. Look, I think my first set I got 50,000 Ks. The next set I got 80-ish. But I still wasn't very happy. But they were the is it Yokohama Geolanders?
Yeah, is that Peter? Is that what you run now?
I've got
The Geolanders.
Yokohama's just put on, but if you were disappointed at 50,000, imagine how I was at 40,000.
Oh,
that was shot.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not great. Now let me
But
just.
so far, these new Yokohamas seem incredible. They're certainly a lot quieter.
So here's actually a question, Harold and Peter. So, because now that the WE network's being built, we want to start towing a caravan. Now, obviously, what happens is when you load up the X with loads of weight, it's then gonna
squat down,
sink down, and then squat down.
It automatically levels. It's auto leveling, Richard. So it will level itself back up to its original height. So that's actually one of the beautiful things about it is it won't squat down. It'll just pump its air suspension up to counteract the weight.
Right. Okay. So you're saying even fully loaded with maximum cargo, it shouldn't chew the insides out anymore. Okay.
Exactly. Yes.
Where I was going with that is kind of where I was going with that was that maybe it could be a slight advantage to load up a caravan to then have the wheels as flat to level as possible, and then you've got the weight in the caravan and you're not increasing that camber. But no, if you're saying no, it'll level out, then yeah.
It absolutely does. That's the beautiful thing about the air suspension, which is something that obviously the Model Y, and for those of us who now own Model Ys, that's a slight issue, I guess, potentially, because it will make the suspension squat down.
True.
And depending on the way I think most suspensions work out, a bit like the old VWs, the more you squash them, the more you've got positive camber or whatever it is, negative, whatever. And then if you unload them, it goes the opposite direction. So, at Model X, Richard, just tow caravans and eat your heart out.
Anyone got one I can borrow to do a range test? A 2.25 ton caravan? I want to do I don't know, 50 Ks one way on a freeway and then 50 Ks another, and then see what energy consumption is like, and then I can know what we're going to make.
You're not going to like it, Richard. I towed John Edwards's 2.25 ton DC charger. It was a generator and the C-Tech charger to Southern Cross, and I think the first place I had to recharge was just past Northam. I think it was pretty short range. It was like I don't know. It was 120 Ks or something. It wasn't fantastic.
I mean, I'm hoping a caravan be a bit more aerodynamic. We probably wouldn't go for anything above 2 tons, but
most of the new caravans aren't aerodynamic at all.
Yeah, we'll find something. Actually,
John's
that's probably a little subtopic. Is Are there any caravans out there that are relatively aerodynamic that would be more suitable for towing, both with a Y and an X?
A
Or
Kimberley
anything really?
caravan that pushes up.
Oh
Kimberley
yeah,
caravan.
yeah, they're like the pop top ones.
It has a winch to lift the top up. They'd be all right because they're like a camp trailer in a sense when they're towing.
Yeah, I've seen those. Yeah, okay.
There
My
is
brother-in-law is going to sell his at the end of this year.
There is
All
a
right.
car
Put them in touch.
on the market being introduced in the US, I think, where it's a pop top. It's all electric, so it goes up electrically. But yeah, down along the bottom of its chassis are all batteries that actually.
Oh yeah, the one that's like 150 grand.
Yeah.
It looks like John's wants to say something.
No, it was just a wait for a Cyberlander on your Cybertruck, then it's all solved.
I can't wait until 2028.
What's going on, Tesla gang? I'm Tesla gang. What's going on,
I know the Tesla gang one.
What was that? Tesla gang's gone.
Gone.
That's all right. If he comes back and does that again, we might invite him to leave. And anyway,
Anyway, the semi
kids,
Cybertruck.
yeah, I'm just trying to find I'm just very quickly trying to find the Cybertruck. Cybertruck on Tesla's website, because they've actually got an even bigger caravan, but then they've got a huge battery pack. Where is it? I think it's that one. There we go. That's a caravan. Whoops.
Wow.
That's like a horse float.
Good thing about that, it's got no breakable windows.
I wonder if those are bulletproof as well.
I thought I saw somewhere that the Cybertruck was only going to be a 100 kilowatt hour battery.
200, I think.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's going to have to.
I hope I'm wrong, but
it'll be a
tri-motor. Frustratingly, thing is, I've still got my Model X reservation.
Oh, and you will keep that until they prize it out of your dead
There
home.
you go, Harold.
I will.
Oh, no, that
Anyway.
was pretty shit.
But look, the Cybertruck, it'll all be forgiven with the Cybertruck, and you know,
Pete's got it as well. Yeah, yeah.
But you notice, Pete, it's small. Like the image is quite small. They've diminished the image. It's like it's getting further and further away from us.
Yeah, exactly. It's now just going to be it's just a teaser image now.
It'll be a single pixel, and that'll be it. That's all we'll see, a little speck. Oh well. But when we get the Cybertruck, all will be forgiven.
Yeah.
And you know, when Tesla is 2 times $420.69, you know, we'll be at the RAC arena, and we'll have sexy cars, and we'll have the semi and all that stuff. So
I think more than a semi. Sorry,
that's
it's after 9:30.
Oh God.
It is after 9:30. But not if you're watching on YouTube. So thank you for all those parents watching with their little kiddies. This is usually a family program.
No worries.
We try our best. Sometimes we're just trying. Alrighty. Have we got any other questions or comments? I think Tesla's still.
Jared when you need him?
Oh, that's right. Exactly. Where is Jared?
I know. Keep us
Sadly,
awake.
Harold got an update from Mandra Supercharger.
Oh,
They've
yes.
pushed
Oh, you
it
got an
out. They
update.
pushed it out to Q4 now.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, so that's on the map, is it?
That's
Okay.
on the map.
Hey, where's that going to be, Alex? Is that at Barragup, eh?
That's still to be decided.
Right, I thought it was on Penny Road, at
Pinjarra
Gulf
Road.
Servo or whatever, in Barragup.
That's where the pin is, but it could be anywhere. Who knows?
Right.
You need to use your influence a bit more, Alex. Put a bit
I
more
know.
pressure on them.
I have to put some pressure on Elon, I think.
So, it's still the same. It's just on that. Yeah, that hasn't moved.
Yeah.
That's near the not the Puma, the whatever it's called now. Yeah. So it's a non-pin. I mean, it's somewhere on Pinjarra Road, maybe, or maybe not. Is going to be opening in the next few weeks.
Oh, I
So
thought Landfill was open.
sorry, the supercharger. Sorry, because
Oh,
we're looking
yeah,
at the supercharger map. Yes, that's
Yeah.
they've got a target opening in 2023. Up the pothole, not the potholes, but they cut trenches into the bitumen for each of the 3 stalls. So let me just get that photo and send it to here. Sorry, 2 seconds. Oh, yes, Pete. Yes, we'll do that one too. So this is that's the meter that well will be fitted just there. So that's in Tesla's main cabinet.
And it's been labeled correctly, I think you said now.
Labeled originally, the cabinet was made over east apparently, and all these wires were just white, and now they are the correct red, white, and blue, and black for neutral, obviously colors. And these are where the current transformers are connected, where to the and then that subsequently goes to the meter, and these are the voltage tap-offs. So the power meter basically measures current going through and the voltage of the actual power. So hopefully that'll get, So hopefully that'll get done in the next week or two. In fact, I'll have a look on Sunday just in case, but we'll see how it goes. Actually, so Pete, you haven't got the other bit. I'll get the.
I tried the video, but it won't let me send it through chat. So I'm just trying to by text message.
That's cool.
You can bring it up.
Should have it here. This is sort of news. I mean, it's not. We'll wait till we get to it.
Actually,
while I'm doing it, yeah, go Pete. Yeah, if you want to just fill in for a second.
I was going to say, who can guess which is the only car that hasn't been announced yet by Tesla, yet it was on the master plan?
Van.
Yes, spot on.
Except what we're going to show you is not the van.
Oh, I think I know what you guys are showing. I don't even know, but I think I know. I saw something.
Okay, well,
yeah.
Now you are going to know.
Boring. Yeah, I definitely know.
Boring.
Yeah.
Notice that is a Tesla steering wheel. It's not a fake. This is a real thing, but it's not the van.
Someone got fired. Someone's definitely getting fired.
Yeah, I think so. It looks a bit agricultural, but this is to go into the tunnels. So the boring company tunnels. It's even got Model 3 wheels.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
But it is very basic.
Which is all you need.
Which is all you need in a tunnel.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I thought they were based on a Model X, the tunnel machines.
They did do that. They did use X's, but I think this carries 12 people. I think there's 3 seats there, so that's 3, and there's 8. So 12 including the driver, yeah. So really it's 11 passengers. And maybe you can have people standing up as well, but there's no hand grabs, no handles. But yeah, that's basically, that's that. And as Pete said, that's one thing they haven't really announced, although let me just get Pete's direct message. And this was from the Boring Company's sort of video, which is different because the idea of this is this actually sinks down into the tunnel and transitions, but I don't think they'll be doing that straight away. There you go. Thanks for that, Pete.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, mate.
That's that's cool. But I think there's also rumours, or it's been stated, that the Model 2 development is basically finished, and Tesla is finalising the Giga Mexico plans. And in fact, that is also a bit of news. It was a Mexican. No, it was one of the Mexican politicians. I forget whether it was the local governor or maybe even the president of Mexico. I'm not entirely certain.
I think
basically declared that all of the environmental and regulatory paperwork and approvals had been approved, and that groundbreaking is going to occur very soon.
But there was
So
so
everything's
they won't be producing any vehicles till early 2025.
That'd be
Yeah.
about right.
Which would be about 18 months.
Yeah.
Now is
So a lot longer than Shanghai.
Yeah, Shanghai was 12 months, but Berlin and Austin were closer to about 16 months. So, but yeah, apparently they underestimated how long it takes to build a gigafactory in Mexico. So slight delays with permits, but looks like they're, Harold said, sounds like they're imminent.
Yeah,
Tom
which
will be tearing his hair out.
That's going to be the biggest one. I was reading it, like bigger than Texas.
Yep.
Giga Texas.
2 million cars a year. Okay.
which is what they need to, because don't forget, at the moment, by the end of this year, Tesla would have built 2 million cars in this year. But by 2030, they need to get to 20 million. So as we speak, by the end of this year, Tesla will only be at 10% of their planned run rate in less than 7 years. So they've got to get a move on and build more factories.
Expand the current ones.
And augment the current ones. So, as we know, Texas, the Texas site is massive. You could have many gigafactories on that site. So that's got no space limits. I guess Mexico is similar.
Mexico is 40% bigger, the site.
Oh, really? Wow. Yep. Shanghai is really the site that's space constrained. And, there were rumors of it being moved alongside and then at the back, or, closer to the coast, near where the CATL factory is, battery factory. Oh, and actually, that was another bit of news. Pete, do you remember this one where they're talking about LMFP batteries? And apparently there's talk that the capacities will be up. They might get as much as, I think it was 400 miles range in a Model 3. I think that was.
10%,
which
wasn't it?
640 Ks. And very fast charging speeds and very long lifespans.
And while still having, fairly decent density as well. Energy
density. Yeah.
And that'll be with the Highland, possibly in the Highland version with the structural battery pack, which actually Tesla won't build themselves. So there were reports that they had laid off one of their battery pack lines, their assembly lines, which was the one that had the most humans involved in manually assembling the battery packs, and that they were going to bring in whole structural packs from CATL.
From cattle, yeah.
Yep. Contemporary Amperex Technology Limited, I think.
It's
Has
impressive.
there been any word, Harold, when that Refresh 3 is coming, or Highland?
But the rumours now seem to be that probably sort of before the end of the year. So it sounded like it was going to be, early in Q4. But yeah, it sounds like closer to Christmas, but no one really knows. Who knows?
Yeah, and if you've got a car, that's another point. And if you've got a Model 3 on order and you're going to get one in the next few weeks, just don't even bother. there's quite a few people that got a Model Y, a couple of weeks ago, and it might have been better if they got that Model Y, after the 1st of July, but no one's to know that these things happen. And, if you were told that you could get the Highland Model 3 in 6 months' time or maybe longer, is it worth waiting?
No.
Why not just buy it now, and then buy the Highland version as your second car next year, because you know that if you're in a family, you've got a partner or whatever, any significant other, that they are going to want to have the car that you're driving as well, or should I say, you're going to want the car that they're driving. So, yeah, just buy it now.
Is that right, Paul?
Yep.
Yeah.
No,
so
I'm keeping. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Your missus has got the best car, Paul.
She does. She doesn't bitch about it anymore. Now she says she has a better car. So, actually, because I dropped off, of course, early last week, but I stayed to the end. And the tip that you guys gave about, recalibrating the windows, that actually worked for my car, because I've been having a whistling thing, and I thought, shit, I'll try that, and I did, and it's worked. And I was like, I learned something new. It was amazing. Made me very happy.
Sometimes you learn stuff without even asking. Sometimes you don't even know the question you need to ask,
exactly.
Paul. And someone will ask it on your behalf.
Yeah, because I think Shane was talking about it, and I was like, yeah, that's what I've got. And then I was like, because I'm always pulling the bloody thing up. And then I was like, oh, you just recalibrate it, and it worked. And yeah, that's great.
How long did it take to recalibrate, Paul? Yeah, Paul.
It just went, it was 30 seconds. It was done.
Wow.
And
did you get to slice any carrots while you were doing it?
No, I was like, yeah, that was because it was going quite
Paul?
quick. Huh?
How did it go?
yeah, it went very quick. It spun me out of how cool this car is, It was like my headlights. So after an update, they were too high. And then when I got to work this morning, I just readjusted the headlights, and it was just like, bang, like 30 seconds done. It's really brilliant. Yeah.
Hey,
all
John,
for free.
That just made me think there's no chance that it was just a coincidence that it's actually your windows that are whistling, and they started whistling at the same time you put the roof racks in.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought so with a week-old car, but it could. Hey, anything's possible, I guess.
That'd be funny, actually.
Yeah.
Go through all that.
It doesn't hurt to give it a go, John. So
yeah,
and as you know, it's easy to.
Yeah, Harold, either that or just undo the nuts on my. Easy to take the two roof racks off and just leave the studs there, and that would tell me straight away if it's the roof racks or the window.
Yeah. Yeah, because the wire's pretty quiet.
My wife keeps saying it looks ugly with the roof racks and the Yakima buddy little kayak holders on the top, but
Is it hard to actually take them off completely and put them back on? Is that a bit of a pain to do regularly, or is it quick, or is it a slow process, or fiddly?
To just get to where you got four little studs there, and they wouldn't cause the whistling, I wouldn't think, but I can always try that. That's the fiddly part. Just taking the screws off and taking the whole racks off is very quick. Very quick.
Just got to be careful, because you're sort of putting the metal near glass edges, aren't you? Because it sort of goes underneath the glass.
Yes, you've got to peel the seal back, and it just lips on. But they easily come out though, but it's a little bit fiddly.
It's funny, I've seen quite a few cars. I'm not sure I can't remember if I've seen a Model Y, because Model Ys are so common these days, but I have seen quite a few Teslas with roof racks. But I haven't yet actually seen one with anything on its roof rack. Like,
did a bike. I saw one with the bike the other day, but I went, oh, there's James going past, because he's the only one I know that has one.
I see kayaks probably on there when I'm home 3 times a week.
Yeah.
The C kayak sits on there, and it's beautiful. Sits beautifully.
Cool.
Oh, awesome. Well, just solve the problem for us and report back next. Actually, not next week, because I hope. Oh, yes, I did say that at the start of the show we will not have an Ask Us Anything next week. Well, actually, there will be one, except it'll be an in-person one at our casual meetup on Wednesday at a venue, TBA. Now, Carmen, you weren't here at the start of the show, and I did get your suggestions, but at the start of the show, I called for everyone watching YouTube to put their suggestions in the comments. But
and
I'll add
what was
yours.
their decision?
Oh, no. They're going to do that tonight. So then tomorrow I'll send an email out telling everyone where the casual meetup will be for next Wednesday.
Can you check? I haven't been getting any emails. So I missed the last meeting because I don't get any anymore.
Oh,
somehow I've dropped off.
That is very strange. Can you please send me a text tomorrow? Don't do it tonight, because I'll read it and forget about it. But send me one tomorrow and I'll look you up, because that's really strange. There's no reason why you should have dropped off, but I'll fix that, Carmen. So you didn't get the email tonight about Ask Us Anything, or right, okay.
No, I haven't had it for about 5 months.
Oof. You haven't changed email address by chance?
Not really, although I could have had the boutique real estate one, and I have cancelled that one. But I have the other one, the Gmail.
Yeah, okay. That's probably what I've got you under is, just give me a call tomorrow.
Yep.
And I'll sort it out, Carmen, because, I always want everyone to get emails. I mean, a few members get a bit frustrated, and apologies for that, where, I do send an Ask Us Anything email out every Wednesday.
That's good.
Because it's sort of difficult.
I like it.
I
like it reminds me.
It's sort of difficult to, we don't really have the skill set to, have it every month or whatever for certain emails and treat them differently. I just have basically one master email group, and I just send it to that whole group. So
makes sense, but it's actually easier to click on the link than it is to put in the password and the numbers. So
the other thing you can do too, Carmen, is if you don't have an email, one of our emails handy, is just go to our website. So just go to tokwa.org.au, and then you just click on the menu item. And that's something I meant to mention as well. Let me just bring it up. Is that it doesn't really count for anyone in this room, because everyone in the room has a Tesla, but this is for anyone on YouTube. So if you just check that that's going to work okay. If you go to tokwa.org.au, you'll see that in our menu, and in a phone you'll just see the menu symbol. So just click on the menu, and you'll see random referral. So if you want to buy a car and you don't know anyone who has one, which will become increasingly difficult to do, in the near future. But say you literally don't know anyone who owns a Tesla. The great thing is, as of, like I said in the news at the start of the program, from the 7th of July, Tesla is offering $750 if you use someone's referral code or referral link. Tesla is offering the purchaser a discount of $750 on the purchase of the car, and also free enhanced autopilot for the first 3 months. And then, as a sweetener to the person that gives you that referral code or link, that person gets 10,000 referral points, which is worth roughly the same if they redeem it for a high power wall connector. Now, what we've done as a service to all our financial Tokwa members is, when you log into your Tokwa account or log in on our website, you can actually tick a box and enter your referral link. And what it is, it's Tesla's website. So when you look at your loot box in your app and you go to refer someone or go to refer, if you look at the top right corner of that screen, there's like a forward, it's a little square with an up arrow, and that's like a universal symbol that means, forward it to somewhere else or something else. You can just go copy, and then you can just email it to yourself or whatever, go on your PC or even use your phone and enter that referral link into our website, into your account as a financial member. But getting back to the person who doesn't know anyone who owns a Tesla, just go to tokwa.org.au, go to our menu, and you'll see the menu item random referral. So when you click on that, you'll see that, as it says, the link below is generated randomly each time this page loads. And an example of this, I'll just reload this page and it'll be another, I wonder if that's Nigel Farrier. And
he's
reload,
got enough.
then there's Andrew, and we just keep going, and it just keeps on randomly allocating referral codes. So then, for example, there's Alex. So then if you click on it, the way you actually buy a Tesla with a referral is you click on the link. So I'll do that now, and then you just say that you're in Australia, and that'll explain that this is Alex's referral, and you get $750 and 3 months of enhanced autopilot. And then you can either buy a car, a brand new one that you order specifically, or explore inventory for any inventory cars. And you can also order a demo, although that's got nothing really to do with referral codes. So that's what you do. So then going back to here, again, if we reload this page, it will reload, and then you can just go to another referral, and it's the same deal. So it's just for someone who's in the unlikely case that you literally don't know anyone that owns a Tesla. And that way it literally is random. So it's not that anyone is favored. And a very important thing to note is not one single committee member of TOCWA has their referral code in that system. So at a committee meeting, when we first introduced this as a service to our members, we resolved that standing committee members are specifically barred from having their referral code in that system, because it's just not a great look, and we just decided not to do that. So yeah, for anyone who wants to buy a new car and you don't know someone, just go to our website and sort that out and save yourself $750 for the time being, as at this recording, which is July 2023.
We don't have any news on the S. We can't order one of those, can we?
Nope.
Yes, you can if you live,
You live in
in
England
a country that's not
Indeed.
Australia.
or England.
No, in England you can, but the stupidity, and I know that sounds a bit blunt, but Tesla will sell people in the UK a left-hand drive Model S or Model X.
And they're now including the grabber.
Reacher.
And now they include the Reacher,
I
which
literally
is
thought that was a joke when I heard it. I was
No.
like, "Are you taking the piss? Tesla's all about safety." Yeah, let's get that mirror out.
well, and it's like you go to a multi-story car park, and you got to get the ticket. You got to press the button, pull the ticket on the wrong side of the road or the car if you're in the car by yourself, and or you got to wave your credit card.
That's why they got the Reacher.
Yeah, that's going to go
Takes the
awesomely, I can
absolute
tell.
piss.
Oh dear.
It
Hey, I've
is.
got a question.
Yes.
Next year I'm going to Melbourne in February, and I'm hiring a Tesla for a couple of days. I'm going to drive the Great Ocean Road, come back, and then go to the
Wicked.
Taylor concert. When you hire a Tesla, what do you do? Do you have who's done it?
I actually hired one in Melbourne. I use the EV platform, evee.com, I think it is.
I've just gone to one of the car rental places and guaranteed Tesla Model 3. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I hired a Model Y. But yeah, so, well, in my experience, when I did it with this individual, so someone who's like Pete, you just put your car on the platform. When I met him, he gave me a key card, but I then said, "Oh, can you please share the driver code so that you can share the vehicle, so I could then take control of the car and be aware of things like its location and if I was supercharging, what its state of charge was, and all that sort of stuff. I don't know if the hire companies, is it Hertz that is doing it?
It's not
Richard?
Hertz, it's another one.
Yeah, right. Look, I hope they do
So
that, because
if they just give me a key card,
yes,
then what can't I do that I can do now at home?
you can't see it on your app. You can't unlock your charge port with your app. You can't do anything with your
You
app.
can't precondition your cabin. You can't turn your
Right.
seat warmers on. You can't turn your aircon on.
So so it's just like a normal car then, is it? Just
Yeah.
get a card and you get in the car. Yeah, I can live with that for 2 days.
Yeah, okay, but do ask them. Just ask the question if they can actually share you as a driver, and they may, depending on their size or their setup, they may be set up to do that. Maybe.
The good thing, Richard, is if they give you access through the app. So when I got into my brother's car, I just got in and everything changed. So the seats, my radio stations, everything was the way I had it set up at home. So that was cool.
That's not a big deal for 2 days driving. But anyway, the other question I've got, well, I'm thinking my wife now has my Model 3 and I've got the Y, but I've only got one account, which is still my account. What's the pros and cons of keeping it that way or giving her a separate account?
It matters not. I've got 2 separate accounts just because the way I bought the cars in the first place, and we just kept it that way. And that was a pain until Tesla allowed you to share drivers. And then I logged into her account and shared her car with me, and I shared my car with her on 2 separate accounts. So then you've got full visibility. There's a couple of things you can't quite do on both cars. I think you can't buy enhanced autopilot, or you can't make big purchases. But apart from that, you've got full visibility, full control, full everything on separated accounts. But if you've already got just one unified account, there is zero need to actually change that.
Okay.
There's no advantage to change it because you're both logged in using your credentials. It doesn't matter that the app doesn't care if it's on 3 or 4 phones simultaneously. And don't forget using your phone as car keys, separate car keys or phone keys, sorry, and all your settings follow the phone anyway. So yeah, you don't have to bother to.
That's a bit weird because every time my wife got in the car, it would go to my profile with her phone. So I deleted my profile. So
I remember you saying that actually. Yeah, that might have been some weird glitch because you should have actually gone into the settings, into the key settings, and just make sure.
Yeah, I've got her as priority.
No, not that. It's under the locks, screen. Let me just bring it up because I do remember it was on my simulator. So if we go into locks, see how you've got a key. I think you can attach the phone to a profile. In fact, I think that's it there. That's the profile. Mine, you can't see, this is an old image, but you can actually attach the phone key to a profile, and maybe your wife's phone key was inadvertently attached to your profile, Richard, which if you then went into the keys section under locks.
Totally deleted me.
Yeah, but when you put yourself back, which you should, then make sure that you attach yourself to your profile. She'll be attached to hers, and it shouldn't break after that.
I'll have a look.
Fingers crossed. Alrighty. So is there anything else? Because we're sort of marching on with time, well, a little bit. Any other?
George just put a message in the chat about hiring a Tesla. He just hired a 3 Performance in Queensland not long ago.
Oh, nice. And was that through Chiro? Yeah, I think that's through Chiro. Yeah, thanks, George. I used Chiro in the States, and that worked okay. And Chiro is here too in Australia, so that's you can try Chiro.
A car hire company?
There are
sharing.
car sharing.
Okay.
As far as I know, the owner just added him as a driver to the app, and everything for that car
Yes.
come up on his phone.
Exactly. Yep. Yep. And that's what anyone could do. I don't know. I dare say maybe Hertz might be doing that, but maybe not. Who knows? But yeah, in more thorough answer to your question, Carmen, Turo it's not a car rental company in the same way that Hertz or Avis or whatever is. It's let's call it a more gig economy platform.
So it's hired through East Coast Car Rental, and they're from Melbourne. They're a shuttle. You know, they're off site, so they get your shuttle, come pick you up, take you out, pick up your car.
Okay. And
And
do
it's only
they
like
have it in New Zealand?
No.
No, they wouldn't be in New Zealand, but I don't know if Hertz has got Teslas in. You just have to Google it, Carmen. But Turo might be in New Zealand, so you could hire it through there.
Okay.
And I think these platforms are still pretty good. I think more of the risk is carried by the owner of the car than the actual driver if there's an accident. So you're covered as a driver if you have an accident in the car. It's just that, you know, maybe technically the owner of the car may not technically be as well covered than, say, a car rental place who has different insurance.
So EV is in New Zealand now too, so EVEE. But a good tip even for you, Richard, is rentalcover.com. It's excess insurance. So even with Turo, the minimum excess is $1,500. So this only if it's for 2 days, it'll be like $40-50. It's nothing. And it covers your excess. So I don't know what the excess with that company will be.
My excess is $500.
$500, yeah. So
yeah, and because I ordered before the 1st of July, I got 25% discount, and that covered the other excess was nothing or 5,000. So I got it for 500, and my 25% discount covered it. So
yeah, cool. But yeah, that rental covers pretty good because it does cover a few things that your cover might not cover you for. So things like windscreen cracks, flat tires, if your car has to be towed because you've got a flat tire, just little annoying things like that. So yeah, just have a look.
What's it called?
Covers or not. But yeah, that rental cover for your next.
What's the company called?
Rentalcover.com.
Oh, right. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Hey, if you want to know a good app if you're going traveling, my sister-in-law put me onto this. It's called TripIt, and it's absolutely brilliant.
Oh, there's a lot of emails.
There's what?
A lot of emails.
There's no emails ever.
Well, you put your itinerary in it, and it's supposed to be automatic. And
Yeah, I used it in Europe. It's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
I've got just everything. You got to spend half an hour putting everything in, but you just put in the hotel, and it comes up, boom, into the app with all the hotel details. Everything's in there. It's just brilliant. So I've got 4 trips in it for this year, and tells me, and it, you know, and if you're at the airport and the plane's delayed, it'll tell you things like that. It's brilliant. Or the gates, there's a gate change. Oh, truth, it's a gate change, and the app tells you. So we found it very convenient. Anyway, have a look at it. We like it.
Very good. Well, there you go. Carmen's skeptical, but she might have got a bit of email spam from them. But you can probably change the way you.
It wasn't so much spam. It's supposed to, once you put your details in, it could have got confused with my sister's. But once you put your details in, it's supposed to get information from your email address and itineraries that are sent by the airlines. And there was a bit of a mess up, but it could have been the operator.
Yeah, cool.
I do use a card to travel with that converts currency from a UK bank called Revolut. And I found that really good because you went from, I was doing a cruise and you went into different countries every day, and you could change the currency straight away, and no charges, no fees. I think they've introduced fees now, but at the time they didn't have any. The only thing is that my bank put a cancel on my normal account because they saw that I was stopping every day in a different country, and they got nervous. But Revolut worked. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard the same. One of my cousins in Austria actually recommended that
Yes.
because it's
Yeah.
great for changing currencies.
Yep.
And you don't get ripped off with in and out currency variations and all that
No,
stuff.
and you can use it anytime. And at hotels, it's very helpful. I do use it even now. You can still use it in Australia as well. The only thing is you don't get points. So in Australia, it's better to use normal credit cards. But it worked a treat.
Very good. Very good. Alrighty. Have we got any last drinks before we wrap this awesome show up? I think we actually covered a fair bit of content, a lot more than I sort of expected.
And the shares are doing well.
Shares, oh yeah, let's have a quickie look at the shares. And
273.78.
yes, yeah, that's okay. Look, it's an up day. It's up 1.5%. It's better than the alternative. That's for sure. And obviously, one piece of news that we won't be able to discuss until. Oops, sorry, just got to get rid of that. Tesla's earnings Q2 quarterly report and then follow-up earnings call will happen on next Thursday morning our time. So I think the earnings call will be roughly 5 or 6 a.m. Next Thursday. So that'll be interesting to see. I sort of expect as an amateur analyst that it sort of makes sense that if Tesla's had record production and deliveries, they ought to have record revenue. And something they should have is they should have pretty healthy margins, because Tesla has just, for example, in Australia, reduced prices by $3,900. And I think most of that is as a result of cost savings. I mean, there's two ways that you could slice it. You either think that it's cost savings that they're passing on, or it's a lack of sales where they have to try and cheapen the product to razz up the sales. But as we know, sales of cars in Australia and other countries have gone through the roof. So it's likely that they're handing back some of the cost savings that they've realised. And what that probably means is that Q2 should be pretty good, because during Q2 there were no price cuts. So yeah, it should be pretty interesting. And it might be a bit of a.
Don't forget they raised their prices quite a bit during COVID. So a little bit of that is unwinding, and a lot of the commodity prices have come back to, pretty much pre-COVID levels now. So they can unwind some of that.
Yeah, and the thing is, the price reductions only happened on the 1st of July, so that's not in Q2.
No.
So all those cars delivered last quarter were at the higher prices. So it should be quite interesting to see what their actual profit results are and their margins. They should be quite healthy.
They do really well, then the share prices will tank like they always do.
Yes.
Well, only if it was built in beforehand. Only if it was factored in beforehand. So.
Exactly. Alrighty. So yeah, like I said, unfortunately, no Ask Us Anything next week, but there will be one in 2 weeks' time. And it ought to be a bumper one with more WAEV network charger locations opening in the meantime. So that should be pretty exciting. So Pete, how would you round out an awesome show like this?
It's always stay safe, stay sustainable, and stay ahead of the curve.
And the best way to do that is buy a Tesla, join TOCWA, and ask us anything about accelerating the world's transition to sustainable energy.
You guys are so smooth. Good night.
Good night. Yeah,
Good night, everyone. Have an awesome week. And
Cheers,
we'll see
everyone.
you next fortnight on Ask Us Anything. Take care. Good night.
Yeah.
Good night.